300, 300, 300, 300.
This is
Talking Lead, baby.
You can dance if you want to. Feel free. All right, Lead Heads, we are back with another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. This is a In Limbo
300
episode.
Got the volume on. There's an echo.
You got an echo? Somebody's got to mute if they've got the chat room up. Liam. What's up, Lead Heads? Who's joining us, Bill? We got joiners?
Jacob? Yes. What? As of right now, yes. We've got several of us on right now.
Very good, very good. So we have called this special Lead Head meeting because we've got some things to resolve. We want to get our opposite of the Jackwagon nailed down. So I have asked this elite panel of Lead Heads to join me to help narrow down our list to probably the top 3, top 4 or so. And as you are listening, if you're on the chat end of this, watching us, if you've got suggestions on what direction we need to head with our opposite of the Jackwagons, we're going to take your suggestions there as well. Just type those in. And I'm going to go through here, and we'll start with Bill. Introduce yourselves. Tell the Lead Heads who you are, what you do, how long you been a Lead Head.
Hey, I'm Bill Hampstead from the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, Vice President of Benefits. I have been a Lead Head for, about 3 years now, I believe, after having met Marty at a Sheepdog Impact since Heroes Gala.
Yeah, I was dressed up a little better than I am now. Had a tie on.
Same here.
All right, so let's go to Jacob. Jacob.
Sorry, I got a little flustered. Jacob Rosecki. I've been a Lead Head for about 2 years now. I'm a civil engineer by day, and I help Nick Dooley with Dooley Defense during the weekends and the night hours.
Very good. And Nick may be joining us. He may be a little late.
Yeah, I texted him to see if he was coming.
So let's go next. Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. I'm Jerry Black. I have been a Lead Head since episode 1.
Yeah. From day one. Long-time Lead Head. Welcome in. Now let's hit the beautiful and lovely, representing all you lady Lead Heads out there, Katie.
Hey, so I'm Katie Healy, and I've been a Lead Head, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years, a little bit after Bill joined. And I know Bill still can't hear. Anyway, I work for Ford Motor Company, and I'm an associate, or I like to call it social member of the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association. So.
Very cool. And then we've got longtime Lead Head Kenny Ortega. He's in some California traffic. Are you able to talk, Kenny?
Yeah, I can talk. So Kenny Ortega, I am a producer of This Week in Guns and Gun Funny on the Firearms Radio Network. Been a Lead Head for pretty close to the beginning. I mean, you were double digits, but low double digits. First time on, but first time, long time.
Very cool, man. Welcome in. So before we get this started, I think it would be good if we kind of jumped in and got some Jackwagons taken care of, too. What do you think? Just to get everybody warmed up and get the idea of what we mean by opposite of Jackwagon.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
Now, I'll start with my guest. Does anything come to mind for anyone right off the bat? And keep in mind, as you guys are watching, I'm catching them off guard. They had no idea why they were coming on this show. Anyone? Who wants to be first?
I've got one if nobody else does.
Do it.
All right, so Las Vegas, there's this woman on the bus. She pushes a 74-year-old man off the bus because she is impatient and ends up killing him.
What?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, I saw that today.
I
Wow.
absolutely back that up as Jackwagon.
Oh my! How did she push him off the bus?
He was stepping down from the driver's door right there.
Yeah.
And she was behind him and just like, get out of my way, pushed him out of the way. He fell and ended up dying as a result.
Oh my
She was arrested, but she's been released on bail.
Released on bail, my lord.
Yeah, she pushed him face first and then turned around and walked back to the back of the bus. She didn't even get off the bus.
Did he like crack his head or something, or did he get run over? What happened? Do we know?
I believe he hit his head when he went
I
down.
think
I
he
mean,
went-
he went down face first.
He went face first into the concrete.
Did a big face plant. Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. That woman is. She's got a special place in hell waiting on her. She's beyond Jackwagon train.
For sure.
That chick's going straight to hell. Yeah. Anybody else? Anyone? All right, I'm going to take one here from some email submissions here. We got Tyler J. Bronson, and this looks like this is going on up in Maine. So let's see what Tyler's got here. It says Maine senator rejects petitions opposing gun confiscation bill. Steve Everett. It's like Brownie Carson. Brownie's his nickname. Okay. So it says the right of Maine and the United States citizens to petition their government is so scared to that it is enshrined in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution and Article 1, blah, blah, blah. But Senator Everett Brownie doesn't seem to care much for citizen petitions, at least if they are from his constituents who oppose gun confiscation laws. So it says... let's go on and see here. Eric, please don't give me any more of this, Brownie. The Free Maine campaign posted a picture of the envelope that was handwritten note on social media Friday. So apparently he wrote a note to one of his aides that said not to give him any more of these petitions. So if you're in Maine, you need to just inundate this guy with more petitions. It's exactly what he needs. We don't have anybody here from Maine, right? Everybody. Where y'all? Where's Katie's Michigan, Bill's Michigan, Jerry's here. Where are you at, Jacob? Texas?
The good old state of South Dakota.
South Dakota. That's right. And then Kenny's in California.
Hoping to get back to Texas.
Working your way to Texas?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure they'd welcome you. Let's see. I've got another one here. This one is from Dustin Warren. And it says, Washington governor signed 7 new gun bans and confiscation laws. So, I mean, what haven't they tried to put a law on already or confiscate? I mean, it's pretty much covered by now, isn't it? This is ridiculous. This is the new laws restrict access in a number of ways, including bans on ghost guns. We all know those are real. And red flag confiscations for juveniles and domestic violence suspects. So this is in American Military News is where this one can be found. Yeah, I'm not going to read that whole thing there. I think we get the gist of what's going on with that one. Let's see. Let's take another one. Jason Edgar was supposed to be on here with us, but I don't think he's going to be able to join us.
He just chimed in the group chat.
Oh, okay. What's up? He is our new. Actually, he's the first sergeant of arms of the Lead Head Brigade. So, welcome in, Jason. I'm going to take one of yours that you submitted, and he earned that sergeant at arms because he sends me like 4 or 5 of these a week, which is awesome. So keep those coming, Jason. Let's see. It says Lead Head Sergeant at Arms here. So many to nominate. You pick. It said hundreds of firearms seized from an ATF tip in Los Angeles. A tip on manufacturing firearms. Among the findings are tools to manufacture. So what? Exactly. What are they considering tools to manufacture? Guys like guns, big deal. I know of no law saying how many firearms one could have. Are we going to extreme? What is that? Couponeers? What's a couponeer? I don't know. For having too much. In the image of the firearm seized, I just see company-made firearms. So, more than 1,000 guns seized from L.A. home near Playboy Mansion. Uh-oh. Maybe these are some of Hugh Hefner's. Maybe it's a house he owns. Suspect in custody, police say. And there's a link there, and this is in Fox News. You guys can go to Fox News and you can Google this. Authorities on Wednesday seized more than 1,000 guns from an upscale Los Angeles home near Playboy Mansion after receiving an anonymous tip about alleged illegal firearms sales, according to reports. So, I don't see anything about manufacturing here. It looks like he's just, he's in the business of selling guns. He probably doesn't have a license to do so. So that's a good one. I mean, there's probably going to be a nice big sale on guns here. It looks like he's got a nice variety, too.
Yeah, they don't sell them, though. They'll be destroyed.
Say again? You were breaking up.
I said Los Angeles doesn't sell them, so they'll be destroyed.
Oh, they do? They just go ahead and
Yep.
give them to Benchmade and let Benchmade take care of them? Was that a low blow to Benchmade?
Yeah.
Should I have not gone there? Oh, well. How are questions coming, Jacob? You got any questions from anybody?
Nope, just everyone kind of joining in. We got Jason Edgar, John Adams, EL, Ed Burton, Melissa.
Is that
Writings.
Jor-El?
What's that?
I said, is that Jor-El? Just L?
EL.
Yeah, L, like Jor-El, Superman, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kal-El. So welcome in, guys. Getting warmed up with some Jackwagons. If you guys have any Jackwagons, type them in there. If you've got a link, throw a link in there, and Jacob will field those for us. But I want to go ahead and get into the meat of this. We want to try to narrow down our suggestions for our next segment, which is going to be the opposite of a jackwagon. So this is someone who, or a group of people that is doing something good in our community. It doesn't necessarily have to be firearms related, but it can be. So I want to go through some submissions that we've had. And this all started off with an email from Jeffrey Haddix. And I'd asked Jeffrey to be on, but Jeffrey has to work, so he couldn't make it. No, actually, Jeffrey's going to watch John Wick tonight. So I got stood up for John Wick. Damn it.
Could be.
Here are matches for John Wick.
Somebody else is going to go watch John Wick too.
Yeah, Siri got a little head start on John Wick.
Very nice. But he sent in an email, and I read it on the last regular episode, the one before the AK Corner. You guys can go back and read that. I'm not going to read it again. But basically, he wants us to start honoring and recognizing those individuals that are doing good in our community. So I thought that was a great suggestion. A lot of you other lead heads thought it was a great suggestion. And they have been rolling in ever since. And I'll just start with Jeffrey on what his nominations have been. He says, Talking Lead Freedom Fighter Award, and he thinks that we should have an F-14 Tomcat. So let me back up a little bit. So the Jackwagon train, for those who don't know, we have the Talking Lead Jackwagon train, and it hauls off the Jackwagons. So we've got a vehicle that takes care of the Jackwagons. So we want to have a vehicle also that takes care of our good doers. That's what I'm just going to call them for right now until we come up with a name for them. So he's got Talking Lead Freedom Fighter Award, and then he's got the F-14 Tomcat. We're going to have a lot of F-14 Tomcats to haul these people around, to cart them around. And then we got, we'll go ahead and go with Jason, since Jason is on here with us. Jacob, or Jason Edgar, and he says Gunny's Valor, and then it's the Gunny's Valor Convoy. And Jerry's doing good. He's writing this down, guys. All right, so the next one, you guys vote. You vote at home too. That are in your comment section there. Vote for us. Vince Buckles, can we get just the camera angle of the dude drinking beer and moving around a lot?
Yeah, might as well.
Sorry, it's me. I'm sorry.
I think he's talking about Jacob.
Yeah, when are you a dude?
I hope you're not a dude. You have
No.
pretty hair for a dude.
Nope, I'm good.
All right, so the next one, we've got Brian Bolajak, and I'm probably saying your name wrong, Brian. I apologize. He says Sheepdog of the Week, and he wants it to be a tank for the vehicle, so like a Sheepdog Sherman or a Sheepdog Bradley, something along those lines. Kind of like the idea of a tank. It's probably not going to be very comfortable, though. So, Jacob, do you remember what your submission was?
Nope. I don't even remember what I have for breakfast most days.
You are on top of it, son. So you submitted Freedom Train. So the opposite of the Jackwagon train. So that's okay. I mean, we can do another train. I was trying to keep it something different than what we've already got.
No, I agree. I think we should stay away from the trains. We got the train pretty well defined now with the Jackwagon.
Okay, I'm with you there. I'm with you. That's my feeling. What about you guys? You think the same way? Steer away from trains?
Yeah, I think stay away from the train.
Yeah.
Cool. Melissa, I want to hear your suggestions too. So type in your suggestions, Melissa. Gunny's Fire Team, we've got KJ4RMZ. So write that one down. Gunny's Fire Team. If I miss any of those other ones, go back and write those down for me. Jerry, are you also able to see the chat notes?
No.
Okay.
The one that we can't forget is the Happy Hummer.
Jason says the Happy Hummer. I like that one.
The Happy Hummer is a good one.
Yeah, I actually enjoy that one.
So Vince is on here, and Vince had a good one. Vince Buckles, he was on our last AK Corner, if you guys caught that. If you haven't, make sure you go and listen to it. We just posted it, yesterday, I think?
Yep.
How
could I forget? Yesterday was one of the best days I've had.
And tell everybody why you remember it so well and you couldn't remember your submission for the opposite Jackwagon, Jacob.
Because I won the help up, the 11th help up.
There you go. Number 11.
Awesome.
And we also have Jerry Black on here. He's been a past winner. He won back in January. Katie was up for it. Bill was up for it. But Jacob beat him out. Too bad. Better luck next time.
Sorry, Bill.
That's all right, buddy.
So Vince, I think he just... All right, so he says this week's champion of Manifest Destiny. This is Vince Buckles, and it's the Manifest Destiny wagon. Who's getting arrested?
Oh, that's me, which is really rare in this neighborhood.
You live in the
My
hood.
ride's almost here.
Don't lie.
A fire truck just went down the dirt road.
Or was that our convoy escorting our non-Jackwagons parade? So that's a good one. So Vince says the Manifest, the champion of Manifest Destiny, and the wagon is going to be a Manifest. You know, like the old pioneer settlers had the wooden wagons. That's what he's talking about there. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That's a good one.
Doug Cross says Freedom Fighters and Freedom Force One. So I guess Freedom Force One would be a plane, maybe like a big, like Air Force One or something. I want you guys to comment. You're not on here to be
I'm sorry.
quiet
I
mouses. Come
Freedom
on.
Force one. I should have spoken up earlier.
I'm just working on trying to hear everyone, so bear with me.
He's working with those government-issued headphones. I think that's part of it.
I think he got what was left over from his kids. All right, so that's Doug's submission.
We got another one here in the chat.
All right, read it.
Lead Head Brigade LCAC.
And what does LCAC mean?
That I don't know. KJ, let us know what LCAC means.
KJ also had Gunny's fire team. Or is that a different KJ? No, that's the same one. Air Force 2? That's the vice president, right? Isn't that what they call Air Force 2?
Yep, that is correct.
All right,
Who
Alex.
does number 2 work for?
Number 2? Are you doing an Austin Powers joke there?
Yes.
I got it. That's a good one. All right, Alex Kellums, Alex K. He says Freedom Fighters also, and he says Freedom Factory, and then he also sent another one, change it to a vehicle. He's saying some sort of a motorcycle, like a Harley. Maybe not call it a Harley. Maybe call it a Hog. And start like a motorcycle gang. So when we get all our nominees, they ride off on Harleys like a big motorcycle gang. That's pretty cool.
All right, LCAC, Landing Craft Air Cushion.
Landing Craft Air Cushion. Okay.
Yep, it's the Marine Corps hovercraft. So when you see them roll off the water onto land there.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, a big old hovercraft.
Yep. Or maybe
that would be different.
An Osprey.
It's got to be catchy, though. I mean, we got to come up with a catchy name for it. Let's see. Patrick Lynch says Freedom Marshals and a Freedom Bird. So another plane of sorts. And we can, I think we're deciding on a bigger plane, like a C-130 or a big Boeing 777 or something like that, and just pimp it out. Tony Stark style.
Just don't let it be a Dreamliner.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin Warren, he says the Pew Pew Patriots. Kind of like that. It's got a good ring to it. He doesn't give a vehicle, though. So we got the Pew Pew Patriots. Giddy Up, John Gallup, he says, and he does a lot of Gunny stuff, and these are all put Gunny in front of this. The Gunny Humvee. I think he had somebody else had a Humvee on here, right? The Happy Humvee. We've got Gunny's Roll Call, Gunny's Flagship, Gunny's Battalion, and Gunny's Patriot Platoon. Which those are all good suggestions there.
Yeah, the other one was a Happy Hummer, which can take on multiple meanings.
Yeah. It can. It could be a negative connotation depending on who and what you are. But I look at it as all positive.
That.
What's that?
It's all positive. There's nothing negative about that. It's all positive.
I think so. Never had an unhappy one, so. All right.
As a recipient, I'd never see a downside to that.
Hummers are great to ride in. Aaron Smith says, Heroes Hilo. And he's thinking like a Chinook or something like that. Or a CH-53 Pavlo with Dillon Arrow miniguns. That would be kind of cool.
It would.
Definitely sounds fun.
Yeah, I like the...
Ooh, Lead Force 1. That came up on the chat.
Lead Force 1? Nice.
Lead Force 1.
Okay, the Lead Force 1.
Who put that down?
The KJ.
KJ for RMZ.
What was the one before that he's got? Lead something. CAC? C-A-C? Maybe he just mistyped. Lead Force 1. I actually had thought that was going to be one I'd submit if nobody else did it, so that's a good one. That was going to be my suggestion. Josh Spill. And Josh won a bag of cappuccino, no, espresso, AK espresso in the last episode of the AK Corner, and a nice coffee mug. So congrats to Josh. He says, and this is one I really like, he says we call them celebrities, like celebrity, but they're celebrities, and they get a ride in the Liberty limo. Posh. I like that. Any reactions? Anyone?
Hey, limo rides are cool. It's luxury.
What was it?
I said limo rides are cool. That's luxury.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nice. Do a red carpet rollout. Have the
no, do a red, white, and blue carpet rollout.
Well, see, that's why I got you guys on here. Start thinking. Now the wheels are turning.
There you go.
That's
Good
what
one,
I
Jerry.
want to hear. Thank you. Chime in. All right, Kurt Garber. I'll have to read his. I didn't write it down. We'll go to James Holt. Gunny's Freedom Fighters. And Freedom Fighters seems to be a recurring suggestion. I've had that at least 3 times. And then Lady Liberty. Did I read that? F-16 jet? Did we do that one already?
Nope.
Okay. So he's doing some sort of a plane. We call it Lady Liberty. I like Lead Force 1. I think that's going to win over for if we do a plane.
Yeah, right now I like Lead Force 1.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm game.
Vince brought up a good point in the chat. He said not to use trendy verbiage like pew pew, that it will get real old just like zombies.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? It was pew pew. Well, I got to find that one. Pew pew.
Pew Pew Patriots.
Pew pew Patriots. Okay.
He just chimed in again and said freedom fighter is slang for terrorists in all third world countries.
Ooh.
That is true.
They're ready.
I mean, when you think of
They already
freedom
consider
fighters,
us
you think of troublemakers, don't you?
Yeah, well.
But
Patriots
one
here
man's
considered
terrorist
domestic
is
terrorists
another
anyway.
man's liberator, right? So Dave Held says Gunny's Bullet Train, which if we were going to do a train, that would be a cool name for it. And Freedom Rounds. I don't know what that would be, vehicle-wise. And then Kenny, do you remember your submission?
Yes, sir.
Let's hear it.
So, obviously the Lead Head Brigade, so we need a brigade commander. So someone who's leading the pack and taking charge. And they should be flying luxury, so they should be on Gunny's Gulfstream.
Gunny's Gulfstream. There we go. That's classy.
Yeah, that sounds real nice.
I like that.
Blows off the tongue.
And let's see if I missed Kurt Garber, so I got to go find his real quick. Stand by. As I'm looking this up, Katie, you got any suggestions?
No. I thought about it, and I still like Lead Force 1.
Okay, what about what we call them?
Celebrities.
Celebrities. That's really hard to say, though.
All right, so here's Kurt Garber's. Yeah. Kurt Garber says Lead Force 1. So he had Lead Force 1 on there. Lead X rocket like SpaceX. The SS Lefty. So he's getting into like big giant boats. I like a big aircraft carrier. That'd be cool. We could have everything on the aircraft carrier. Yeah. The SS Gadsden, the SS Threeper.
We got USS Lead Head Brigade.
USS Lead Head Brigade. Let's see, and then we call them Minutemen or women. Ermey's Army. I think there's already an Ermey's Army, isn't there?
I think so.
And then Threeper Reapers, and the Threeper's like the 3%ers. So he's got the SS Threeper and the Threeper Reapers.
How about the Threeper Reapers on the Lead Force 1?
So I want you guys to pick like your top 3 or 4, and we're gonna put those up. We're gonna put them on social media, and we're gonna let everybody vote on them. And then in the next couple of episodes, we're going to pick the winner, whoever gets the most votes. And that's how we're going to do it. So you guys, your job is to pick those top 3 or 4, and we put them to a vote. So there's another one here. Let's see. One more that I missed. I got to go back to it. Did Jeffries, Jacob, did Vincent. Oh, there was... Does anybody remember the episode where I had Jeff Kirkham and I think it was either Paul or Jared or both Markle on? And
That was what, 3 episodes ago?
Jacob Herman, yeah, and they came up with some good ones on that. I can't remember what
I think that was the Hummer one, dude.
The Happy Hummer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I think that was the Happy Hummer one. Yeah. So there we go. What do we got, Jerry?
How about the Mile High Club on the Lead Force one?
You You're missing the point.
Right.
This is to
We're getting the point. depending on how you look at it.
recognize people that are doing good in our community, and it doesn't necessarily have to be firearms related or gun industry related. Okay, so we want some, a name that's going to be all encompassing, and a vehicle that we can proudly cart them around and show them off in, make them feel like heroes. So what do you think?
I definitely like Lead Force 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
I definitely
unanimous.
I like Vincent's earlier too with the covered wagon and the Champions of Manifest Destiny. I definitely like those two.
Okay, so mark him down for those. There's check each on those. What about you, Bill?
I kind of dig the celebrity.
Celebrity?
Celebrity.
The
yeah.
celebrities?
Even
Okay.
though difficult to pronounce if you're trying to rush it, but I kind of dig that one.
After I drink a few more of these vodkas, it's going to be real hard. Did anybody say anything about the Lefty copter? Waylon 07 recommends Lefty copter because I am drinking from a talking Lefty. Keeps your drinks minutes colder or hotter than a Yeti. Don't be a snowflake. Get a talking Lefty. All right, Katie, what's your vote?
Shameless plug.
Well, I like the Lead Force one.
Okay.
I don't know. As far as like who's on it, I'm good with celebrities because I can say that right now.
Because you can say it right now. Just
Okay.
rolls
What
off the
about
tongue.
Mile High Leaders?
Nope.
He's staying away from the
Mile High, nothing. No, that's not good. That doesn't convey what we're trying to do here. That's a different show. That'll be a different segment of the show.
The Minutemen of Lead Force One.
So you like Minutemen, Minute Women?
Sure.
Okay.
Did somebody say Liberty Leader?
No, there was
I think
Lady
they did.
Liberty.
Okay. I can't remember.
So a Liberty Leader? Is that one you're throwing in the hat?
If it's not already there, sure, but
I want to see.
I'm not too concerned.
I want to see you chat, vote out there on the chat land too.
They definitely like Lead Force 1.
So that seems to be popular. Okay, so that's going to be in
Yep, for sure.
in the running. So, Bill, what's yours? What's your picks? Oh, we did, Bill. I mean, Jerry. What's your picks, Jerry?
I'm going with Lead Force 1
Okay.
and either the Celebrities or the Threeper Reapers.
Okay. Nice.
I like the Threeper Reapers, but Vincent just came on with Lead Leader, like Red Leader.
Okay, it's a play on talking lead. You know how much I like to do that.
Well, it would make sense on Lead Force 1 too. Lead Leader on Lead Force 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so put that in the hat. And Kenny.
I'm partial to Lead Force One. I mean, that's you're looking at the what flies, basically the commander-in-chief of the Lead Head Brigade, or at least a VIP in the Lead Head Brigade gets to fly on it. As far as what to call them, I'm torn. There's some good ones there. There's some. I like the way the Three Per Reaper rolls off the tongue, but I don't know. I'm kind of a little hesitant because of the
Reaper
negative connotation of Reapers.
Yeah.
There's too many Bubbas in that crowd. But I like the way it sounds. So
make a good T-shirt, huh?
Yeah.
Could make a good T-shirt.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, we'll put that one in the hat there. And did we get everybody on our panel here, except for me?
Yes,
I
sir.
believe so.
Okay, I'm gonna go through everybody's comments here real quick, just see if we missed anything. Okay, KJ4RMZ is Ed Burton, also a winner of a Hell Pup. Ghost gun operator. John Adams having technical problems. He was supposed to have joined us. Sorry, John. Burn. Gunny's fire team. You put that one down, right? And then the Happy Hummer. I kind of like the Happy Hummer.
Well, you can't do Happy Hummer if you're not going to do Mile High Club. I'm sorry.
It's different though. It's different.
The same thing. Or at
It's
least it
not.
Or how about the Mile High Happy Hummer?
There we go. Combine it all.
The covered wagon for Champions of Manifest Destiny. That's Vincent's.
I'm just throwing out suggestions to Melissa out there, so just ignore me.
And I kind of like that tie-in with the Manifest Destiny and the covered wagon, because the Jackwagon, that was actually a term that happened back in the covered wagon days.
Good point.
That's where they would throw the. Gunny came on and he explained it one time, and he was saying that's where they threw the people that were basically a jail for the convoy, the wagon convoys that they did. Let's see, Lead Head Brigade, that LCAC, not sure about that one. Air Force 2, we're going with Air Force 1 if we do that. We got to vote for the Manifest Destiny. So put a check by that one. That's going to be in our top to be voted on. USS Lead Head Brigade. We are the Lead Head Brigade.
Yeah,
I like a big battleship though idea. I like that concept. That's kind of cool too.
If anything, then it would be maybe the USS Lefty or something.
We're not going to put my name in it. No.
No.
My name's not part of it. No.
Because a lot of those aircraft carriers are named after people, so that's what I was thinking.
Right, but I don't deserve to have one named after me. So.
Oh, come on now.
We'll call it, the SS Gunny or the SS Chuck Norris.
SS Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Keanu Reeves.
Oh, John Wick.
John Wick. Okay, I think I've seen everybody's here. So my vote is, I like Lead Force 1. Put a check by that.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Manifest Destiny one. Put a check by that. I like the motorcycle gang concept too.
Lefty, we got another one here.
Okay.
Our shitty IT guy was able to clear his eyes, and he put out Lead Bread Heroes.
Lead Bread Heroes.
like a purebred dog, but it's lead bread hero.
Lead Bread Heroes. Okay. I don't think a lot of people would get that one. Like
I don't either.
When you say Jackwagon, people know what a Jackwagon is. It's like somebody that you're calling out for being an idiot. So it needs to be something that when we say it, people are going to go, boom. That's somebody who's doing something good. So what did I say?
Lead Force One, Manifest Destiny, and the motorcycle thing.
And the motorcycle. Okay, so those are my 3 vehicles. And then the names, I agree with Vincent on the Freedom Fighters. Don't really want to go with that one. The Brigade Commander, I like that. Or some other connotation, because we're going to have a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? So Brigade something, possibly.
Brigadier General.
I was thinking the same thing.
Brigadier, but still, we're going to have a lot of them every week. You know, so
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of Brigadier Generals.
No.
Gunny's Valor as a an award, I guess. I like Gunny's Valor, and what I need one more for a name. I don't want to do the pew pew. And let's see. The celebrities. Yeah, it's got to be celebrities. Yeah. And I like the Liberty Limo too. It's like one of my favorites. All right, so what's our top 3 for each? Back to Gunny's fire team. Happy Scrappy Hero Pups.
Maybe not.
I don't know. I like that one.
You like Happy Scrappy Hero Pups?
Happy Scrappy Hero.
And this
Pups.
week's
I'm a
Happy
Lead
Scrappy
Force
Hero
one.
Pups award goes to... It's a
The
mouthful.
Happy Scrappy Hero Pups on the Happy Hummer.
No, not the Happy Hummer. You can't do that.
You can do Happy Hummer. We just can't do
No.
Mile High Club.
I don't know if I want a scrappy Hummer, you know? I mean, that just sounds wrong.
What did Tony Stark call it? The Humdrum V?
The Fun V.
The Fun V. There you go.
The fun.
Yeah, that's another body part.
I'm in the Fun V.
Hey Marty, that Hummer that you rode in down in Florida, what did they call that? That's the converted Hummer that you were in, that you did a live broadcast. Did they have you were in Florida? I believe it was for the Iraq. It was the Iraq 8888, whatever it was, and you were in that Hummer.
No, it wasn't a Hummer. It was like a deuce, a converted deuce and a half or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be a good vehicle, but I know you weren't serious, Vincent. What about Heroes Hall? Heroes Hall. They all get convened to Heroes Hall, get to have a nice meal and a drink. Video
Sounds like
crash.
night at the VFW.
Not at the VFW. I think that's what you're having at your house right now, isn't it?
I wish.
Or play on that Hall of Heroes, kind of like Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame?
Well, similar to that Hall of Heroes, kind of like Hall of Fame. You know, could be the, Lead Head Brigade's Hall of Heroes.
This week's Lead Head Brigade Hall of Hero nominee is... I kind of like that.
That works. Real nice.
That flows good.
Yeah.
We should have started this like an hour before we actually started going live to get your brains going.
Right.
All right, so our top vote getters right now are Lead Force One, Manifest Destiny, the motorcycle. I don't know that we came up with anything other than a gang. Liberty Limo and Hall of Hero.
What's a motorcycle gang called? Hell's Angels.
Club.
It's a club. It's a gang, I guess,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a freaking gang. I don't know. I just like the idea of, picturing all our heroes with, leather on their Harleys or whatever, raising hell, making a big boom, boom, boom. That would be a good sound effect for it to, like I do the train comes in. I do a train sound effect. I do like a nice motorcycle.
How'd that sound go?
I can get Chad on here to make that noise. He does a good one. Chad Enos. Have you ever sodomized a squirrel with a cinnamon-centered toothpick while actively campaigning reparations for Native Americans? That's a long name. I don't think we can do that one.
I think they just wanted you to say it.
I had to. I mean, somebody to type all that out. All right, so I think we've got our top at least 3 or 4, right, Jerry? What are they?
Yeah, we got Lead Force 1, Manifest Destiny, the Liberty Limo, the Hall of Heroes, and the Motorcycle Gang.
The Motorcycle Gang.
I got nothing.
I'll have to work on that one, but so what about what we're going to call them?
Okay, so what I've got, what kept recurring was the Brigade Commander, or whatever
Brigadier
we're going to call that.
Okay.
Brigadier General, yeah. Gunny's Valor Award, the Celedratries.
Celebrity.
If I can
Celebrity.
that too.
Celebrity.
And then Gunny's Fire Team came up 2 or 3 times.
And we've axed the Freedom Fighters completely. We've axed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've got enough to put it.
Thing too.
Oh yeah, the pew. Yeah, definitely. So I think we've got enough that I can do a post and we can let everybody start voting on them. What do you think?
I think so.
Hey, Marty, the one thing that you said that I didn't mention was Gunny's Gulfstream. Did that jump at you?
Gunny's Gulfstream?
Yes.
I think the Lead Force 1.
I think Lead Force 1 trumps that.
Yeah, I think it trumps that.
Did you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Trump. That's a good one.
Nice. Very nice. I think our video crashed.
All the Gunny names just because with the Gunny train, you were able to have Gunny do the intro for it. So if we have a positive one, he isn't around to do the intro for it.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, we got Gunny covered on. He's taking care of the train and overseeing the Jackwagons. I think we should probably go a different route with the opposites.
Yep,
but that's just me. But I run a democratic show here, and I leave it up to the lead heads to make the decisions. So whatever majority says, that's what we're going to do. Some people's video, I think, is stalling out. Hit refresh if your video is stalling. Let's see. Lesla Miller. If it's all about the heroes, am I wrong? I don't know what that means. Is that a line from something? You good, Jason? Okay, good.
She's the one that recommended Heroes Halls.
Heroes Halls?
That's what she recommended.
The Hall of Heroes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that these people are actually, they're heroes. They're good Samaritans. They're good. They're doing good, and some of them could be heroes, actual heroes. Like our 2 nominees that we had. The previous show, what were their names? The UNC student who risked his life.
Yeah, and the teenager.
And the Kendrick. Riley and Kendrick, I think, was their names.
Yeah.
Those guys are heroes. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll call them that. But not everybody who does the good stuff is going to be like a hero.
Yeah, there's some people that are just doing the right thing that aren't necessarily a hero, but they're standing up for everybody. So
no, Ed, everybody boarding Lead Force 1 will be required to do an Irish car bomb.
Ooh.
I dig that one.
Yeah. Consider it done.
All right, so I think we got a good list there. So email talkingled@gmail.com if you've got additional suggestions for this new segment that we're going to be doing to complement our Jackwagon train. But I'm going to post these soon. And we got our 300th episode coming up. And it's going to be the next episode. It's going to be 300, guys. We've got giveaways we're going to be doing from our sponsors and friends of the show. There's going to be guns. There's going to be knives. There's going to be flashlights. There's going to be swag. There's going to be all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm not doing it just for one episode. I'm going to keep my true fashion, and I'm going to spread this out and do as many of these as I can. So make sure you tune in each and every episode, because you never know how I'm going to pick a winner, what we're going to give away. It's going to be awesome. So thank all you guys and gals for 7 years and 300 episodes and counting of the Talking Lead podcast. Any parting words? We'll start with the man on the road there with Kenny.
Just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for having me on here. Love the show. Been a loyal listener for many, many years, and love what you do. So thank you for that. Big shout out to Melissa Ridings. She's someone very special to me. So definitely want to send love her way.
She won some stuff not too long ago.
Yeah, she did.
I think she's due for some more swag.
For sure.
Yeah.
So she's deserving of it too. One of the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
Katie.
Hey, along those lines, yeah, I'm glad Melissa's on, and I see there's some other lady lead heads, and I'm just happy to be able to represent. So thanks for having me on.
Jerry?
Hey, it's been great. I love listening to the show, and I have obviously since episode 1. So I never walk away from a show or drive away, depending on where I'm at, without learning something. So it's always great.
Very cool. Appreciate your support. Jerry's lives next to me, so I've had a lot of good support from Jerry here locally. So thank you for that, buddy. Let's see. Where is... There he is, Jacob.
Yep, I'm here. You guys in the chat, just keep promoting this. Share everything on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and just keep voting, spreading the word. Some personal happened to me here toward the last couple of days, and it's always said at the end of the show is keep your loved ones close.
We'll be praying for you, buddy. You all right?
Yeah, I sent you the video of it.
Oh, with
our shitty IT
your brother,
guy.
Your shitty IT guy. Yeah. Is he all right? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's all right.
Do you want to tell the story?
Well, yeah, I guess, and
because that should have been on our Jackwagon train.
Yeah, it should have. I just didn't know if I should have or not. But
by all means, yes, this guy's deserving.
Sheriff's County deputy, and I can send the link to Bill too. But he's a Sheriff's County deputy, and he works the third shift and pulled over an individual. The individual pepper sprayed him, got him square in the eyes, and took off down the road. Thankfully, he did not have a firearm on him, and my brother had to give up pursuit. And it sounds like this morning they caught the individual. So
good deal. And is your brother going to recover? Is he going to recoup?
Yeah, he's got some red eyes. He and Dan Dooley were throwing axes this afternoon, I guess. So
that's why Dooley didn't join.
Yeah, Dooley's on guards this weekend or this week anyway. And
okay.
Sounded like they had some off time this afternoon, so they met up and were throwing some axes.
Very good. Well, you let him know we're thinking about him, and he would be the epitome of the opposite of the Jackwagon. All right, Bill.
Yes, sir. Finally took me long enough to be able to hear everyone, but appreciate being
Thanks
on,
for
buddy.
joining the show.
Yeah, it took a little while.
Finally.
But anyway. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. I hope you came up with some good stuff. Love the show. Love being part of it. Thank you as always. And tomorrow, I'm going to be testing Kitty's ability to say celebrity.
You can't even say it.
And I screwed it up.
Celebrity.
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 Challenge coin for the
Celebrity.
So we'll see how the.
Tell them what we got coming up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What do we have coming up?
The FLEOA thing.
We've got the FLEOA. Yes, the FLEOA National Conference. You will be there. Confirmed that Geisley and Mission First will be there. So great start to a great conference, and you and I will get to spend a few days in Baltimore together hanging out.
It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to
sir.
that. And then the Charlie Melton 7,000-yard shot is coming up in June. They've rescheduled it for like mid-June, and Talking Lead should be there. By all accounts that I'm seeing, we're going to be there, and we're going to do the live recordings that we did like we did before so you guys can see it live. So make sure you keep tabs, watch our social media post, and I'll give you the dates on when all that's going to happen. I think it's going to be the 12th through the 15th, but when I get solid on that, I'll let you know. Go to Instagram, go to Facebook, follow us on iTunes. If you haven't left us feedback yet and a rating, that helps our ratings on iTunes or any of those podcasting apps. I don't know if they all allow you to do that, but definitely iTunes. It seems to be the most popular one. So would appreciate anything that you guys can do there, and we'll probably be picking winners to get swag from that as well. We go everywhere. We go to Twitter, we go to our social medias, we go to emails, and we try to spread the love as much as possible for you guys. So again, thank everyone. Big thanks to everyone for all the support over the past 7 years and our 300-plus episode. And my panel, give them a round of applause. Yay! They helped me narrow this down. So we've got it narrowed down. I'm going to put it to a vote, and we're going to have a new segment coming up soon.
Well, we got Tandem Dooley now. A little late to the party there.
Oh, did he join?
Yeah, he just joined.
Okay. Well, just in time for us to log off there, Nick.
Well, I figured I'd try and get on there. I've been busy here doing training and stuff. Just got cleaned up before I jumped on with you guys.
Yeah, whatever. So we're going to give you an opportunity before we sign off. Do you have any suggestions on what we call our opposite jackwagons in their vehicle?
Ooh.
So that's a no.
No.
I saw one. Wait, real quick. I saw one that caught my Hogan's Heroes, and we could do a play on that. We could call it Lefty's Heroes. I kind of like that. And I'm okay using my name for that. But that's kind of put that one in the pot too. Lefty's Heroes.
Well, I think Jerry Black left.
Oh, damn it, Jerry. Maybe that was him texting me. He probably had to go eat dinner. Let me check real quick. Yep. His internet just went down. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks again to all the panel members. Nick, sorry, buddy. Would love to have had you on for the entire show. You got the best radio voice though of everybody. Let's hear those pipes real quick.
You know, it's just a face for radio and a voice for sign language, so it works out.
Very good. All right, guys, I am going to end this thing if I figure out how. I want the panel to stay on real quick. But thanks for all the joiners there and all the suggestions, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Talking Lead podcast. As always, lead heads, keep your loved ones close.
And your fire.
And your firearms
closer.
That was almost like a choir, but not really. So not the best of our outro, but it was sincere, and it was from genuine Talking Lead Heads from the Lead Head Brigade. So that wraps up our part 1 of our 300th episode. Make sure you guys go and support those that support this Talking Lead podcast that make it possible for you each and every week. Right On Optics, the official optics of Talking Lead. It's RITON optics.com. Keltec Weapons, keltecweapons.com. And these are simple addresses, guys. Go to their Instagrams, go to their Facebook, show them some love, let them know how much you appreciate all of our sponsors, all of the friends of the show that make this possible. So part 2 of our 300th episode, we're going to illuminate your knowledge of flashlights with our special guest, Michael Hess, with ASP, and that stands for Armament Systems and Procedures. And this company makes great products for our law enforcement, but they have come out with their own line of flashlights. And we've got Michael Hess on, and he's going to talk about their lights in detail. I've been testing some dual fuel lights from several different companies, and this is one of the companies that I've been trying out their lights. And oh, by the way, make sure that you pay attention during this interview because we're going to be giving away 3 of their XT duty lights to you lead heads. So listen close on what you have to do to be eligible to win one of these awesome dual fuel lights from ASP. So without further ado, let's jump into part 2 of the 300th episode of the Talking Lead Podcast.
300. 300.
So as you've heard me talk on several of my episodes, I have been testing out some flashlights. I've been specifically the dual fuel lights, and I've been testing out a variety of different companies and lights. And one that I have particularly been impressed with is Armament Systems and Procedures, which is ASP. And to talk about some of these awesome flashlights and other products that they do, and specifically for the law enforcement first responder community, we've got the Vice President of Marketing of ASP Systems, Michael Hess. Michael, welcome in.
Hey, thanks. It's great to be here.
Yeah, man. So you're a high in demand.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've been trying to hook up for a while now. We actually met at this year's SHOT Show, and it was at Range Day, I think, is when we first met.
In the cold desert.
Yeah, good buddy Bill Hampstead with FLEOA introduced us, and we got to talking, and I was telling you that I was going to start doing some testing on dual fuel lights, and you're like, oh, well, we happen to do that well, and You've sent me a few of your lights, and specifically the ones that you sent were the Garda, and if I say them wrong, let me know.
Nope, you got it.
It's the Garda CR, and I would consider it a small light. And then we've got the Scribe, which is another dual fuel system, and I would consider it still a smaller, but it's a more specialized kind of design.
Yep.
And I'll let you talk about the reasoning and the designs and the shapes and all that. And then the ones that I'm particularly interested in are I would say these are the handheld, mid-size.
We call them duty lights.
Duty lights, and the XT, which I have really been impressed with and using the crap out of it, and it's been doing really well. So. But you guys do a lot more than flashlights. So before we get into the flashlights, if you would, Michael, let's talk a little bit about your company. Tell the Leadheads about it.
So ASP, which is commonly known to law enforcement officers around the world as ASP, is best known for our expandable batons, which we've been leading the way in that market for pretty much 40 years now. And most officers, for better or worse, will refer to the expandable baton on their belt as the ASP, even if it's not one that we made, although there's a better chance than not that it is one of ours. And so we started in that business a long time ago and then got into the restraint business with some really advanced handcuffs and restraint systems. We also make some pepper spray products, OC weapons, and training gear. And then fast forwarding to where we are in this discussion today, we now are a significant presence in law enforcement flashlights, lighting equipment. And we do flashlights in, as you alluded to a moment ago, in very distinct categories. We start with EDC lights, small pocket-sized lights, and then we go to what we call transitional lights, which are those mid-size, bright but still pocketable sort of backup lights, and then duty lights, which are the main light that an officer is going to have on his or her belt. And everyone, and probably all your listeners have heard the expression, 2 is 1, 1 is none, the old, preparedness and redundancy. Yeah. We talk about 2 is 1 with flashlights. 2 is 1, 1 is none, none is stupid, because you really, and there have been studies and surveys done independently that the average police officer carries at least 3 lights, maybe 1 in the glove box, 1 on a keychain, 1 on the belt, 1 in the pocket. You really can't have too much redundancy with light.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So we're big in those categories, and training is a big part of what we do, even though it's not something that we sell as well. And we could get into that too.
Yeah, definitely. We were talking off air about the training. I wasn't aware that you guys did that, and that's something that we definitely want to hit on. And we're going to do that. But you guys, like you said earlier, the batons are really what you guys are famous for, and really, I guess, made your mark with were the batons. But you do get into the other things, like you just said, with the restraints, and you've got some personal safety products, and then, of course, the lights. How long have you been doing the lights now?
So we started, I can't give you an exact date off the top of my head, but probably over 20 years ago, which is actually when I first met the founder of ASP, and we became friends and did some business together long before I was ever in the industry. About 20 years ago, introduced a light that we still carry called the Sapphire, which is a little clip-on light, little mini light. And that was before LEDs were the standard in portable lighting. And it was still incandescent lights. Mag light was the thing with those big 3, 4, and 5 cell flashlight / clubs. And so we really...
The clubs and the suitcase, I call them the suitcase flashlights, those big giant square ones that...
Yep, exactly. Yeah, with the lantern batteries in them.
Right, yeah.
So, but we really did. It's not an overstatement to say we pioneered LED lighting. And in fact, so much so, the Sapphire light originally had a blue LED because white LEDs were so exotic and expensive, you couldn't even get them to use for this purpose. And so the original Sapphire, I still have a bunch of them and they all still work, had a blue LED that put out a decent amount of light, but nothing like what we see now.
Yeah.
And that market, unfortunately, over time, like many industries, that market became flooded with just cheap stuff that you see at the supermarket checkout or that you get as a giveaway trade show swag.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting a battery, a bulb, and a button together, and it works for a little while, and then you throw it away. We're not about that. So we're much more into advanced technology. And Sapphire lights, even though they're still small clip-on lights, if you take them apart, you can see the amount of circuitry that goes in there. They're rechargeable and so on. Anyway, that expanded into duty lights with the Triad family, which we still have. That's our flagship line of duty lights. And it's just grown from there. But we really remain very focused, as you and I discussed before we were on air. We are, I think, uniquely focused on law enforcement. I don't know that there's another brand that can say that they only design lights for law enforcement, which is not to say that your outdoors person or handy person or exterminator or plumber or whoever can't use our lights, but we don't design
mechanic.
Anybody.
I've got a story about that. So
plenty of them do, but our design mandate, and we are very true to it. If you could be a fly on the wall at our internal meetings, we ask ourselves hard questions about product design and say, can every cop in the world use this product? It better be a yes. Can they be trained to use it properly? That has to be a yes. Will it help them do their job, make them safer, more efficient, et cetera? That has to be a yes. And lastly, is there somebody else who's already doing this well? Is there another company that already is covering this category well where we can't make a contribution? And that answer has to be no. So they've got to run all those gauntlets, and then we might introduce the product. But we're not interested in being all things to all people with lighting. We are a law enforcement company, and we're laser focused, forgive the pun, on our customer.
Well, that makes sense.
Yep. So
let's talk about specifically the ones that I've been using, and we'll start off with the Garda. I really like this is like the perfect EDC light right here to throw in your bag, throw in your pocket, just in your truck, wherever. And I've got small hands. I don't by any means have large hands, but for you guys to get visual, it fits right in the palm of my hand. It'll cover up in the palm of my hand, so I can conceal it by just putting my hand over it like that.
Got one too.
There you go. Overall length on this, what do you know? Do you know stats right off the bat?
You had to do that to me.
Well, I don't have to. That's why I was asking.
No, it's fine. So the Gardas are both dual fuel. So there's a Garda AA DF, as we call it, dual fuel, and there's a Garda CR dual fuel. The AA is about 4 inches long, and the CR I think is just a little bit shorter, maybe 3 and change.
So I've got the CR.
Yeah, the CR. I got them both here. The CR is about 3 3/4, a little bit shorter because it's a shorter battery.
Yeah, and then big around. It's as big around as I would say a nickel. Somewhere around that size.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bigger, but it's the perfect size for your hand. Concealable, carryable. It doesn't take up a lot of space in your bag. There's not a lot of weight there, but it's dual fuel and it has a rechargeable lithium battery. Is that what it is?
Lithium ion are the rechargeable. Lithium are the primary or disposable cells are lithium. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I like about it is that you don't have to take the battery out to charge the battery. You can charge it right from the unit itself. And so if you're sitting in your car or whatever, then you just plug it in and it's charging while you're getting to your destination or sitting at home. If you've got, and it uses just your standard. I've got an Android phone, so for those who have those type chargers, just
micro USB, which is pretty much every electronic device that
except for Apple. Yeah. And that's what that's what the point I'm getting at is I hate Apple, because they're so they're so specific on the things that you can, and even from phone to phone on those Apples, they change their charger systems sometimes, which is ridiculous. It's a complete marketing BS thing to get people to spend more money. But so that's what I like about this is you can find one of these Android, just USB chargers pretty much anywhere laying around. It's like 22 ammo when the apocalypse, hits. You're going to be able to find these chargers for these things.
And pretty much all of our rechargeable lights include some form of adapter where the bigger lights may come with a retractable cord. The smaller lights may come with a little USB to micro USB. So worst case scenario, you pop that in and plug it into the side of a laptop or an AC adapter or whatever. But like you said, it's micro USB is ubiquitous. It's worldwide. It's like finding AA batteries or 22 or 9mm ammo.
All right.
You're never going to be far from it.
Your chances of finding a charger for that's going to be drastically increased.
Exactly.
And then the fact that you can use just the standard batteries on it too, the non-rechargeable, the disposable batteries is great too. So you keep a couple of those on hand. You've got your charger. This thing's going to run forever.
Yeah, these are great. These were when we introduced them at SHOT, they were one of the big hits. I think aesthetically people like them. I love. They're among. Obviously I'm partial to all of our lights. It's hard to pick a child, but these are among my favorites. I just happen to like the cuts in them. The knurling is just right to me. It's just a really pleasing light.
And when he says the knurling, that's the grip that they've etched in there, so you can get a good positive grip on it.
Yep. And simple activation is a big part of our design mandate. Lights. And again, we could talk about training at some point, but
yeah, we're going to do that.
For law enforcement, bells and whistles are the enemy of safety. Putting a lot of different switches, controls, dials, things you have to mess with, that's the enemy of safety. There's a reason that all guns or groups of guns tend to work in systems that anybody who shoots a gun can relate to. There's familiarity there. And flashlights are the same. You should just be able to pull it off your belt or out of your pocket and turn it on and get a really bright light, and not say, oh, do I have to turn this to get to the high setting, or do I have to dial this in? To us, it's about maximum light the second you turn it on. So with the Garda and most of our lights, we have this double tap feature where you tap once and you get maximum brightness, and you tap twice and you get a low 15 lumen setting. That's one button. You don't have to say, where do I access the low setting? But what's important to us, and we believe philosophically in law enforcement safety, is that the first time you turn any light on, it should always be the bright setting. So ours always default to bright. Even if you go to that double tap setting, once you release it and go back to turn it on, it's going to be bright again, because the last thing in the world you need in a dark alley is to find out you left your light set on dim or something like that. There's not time to think about those things.
Right. And again, you guys have the
law
law enforcement community in mind when you're designing these lights.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next one, and let's talk. We didn't talk lumens on this one, and that's something we're going to talk about too. We have a fact to fight the myth coming up, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for that. But you guys have this one rated at a 410.
For the CR version, 410 and 430 for the AA.
Okay. So that's powerful coming out of a 3.5-inch light. That's not as big around as a nickel.
Well, to put things in perspective about how far technology has come, that kind of power just a few years ago was pretty much unheard of in a handheld light. We have a light. I don't remember if I sent you one or not. It's not really a duty light, but this little dot light that is our smallest, and it's like the size of a half of a grown person's pinky.
Yeah, it's half the size of the Garda.
Yeah,
less than that.
About a fifth the size of the Garda. It's tiny and it's rechargeable, but it puts out 130 lumens. So that, a generation of lights ago, let's say 5-10 years ago, it would have been brighter than any duty light on the market. So that just the power management, the drivers that drive them, and the bulbs, the emitters, the LEDs themselves have come so far that you can get 430 lumens out of something as small as the Garda is pretty slick.
Yeah. And the battery life on this, what's the average for the rechargeable?
If you were running it continuously on high, it's about an hour, 50 minutes to an hour, depending on the battery. If you run it on low, which not a lot of people run it on low consistently, but you get 3 hours out of it.
Yeah.
With high power, high energy, high heat lights like LEDs, like performance LEDs like these, that's typical an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the power source. And again, that's continuous use. It's another good reason to have dual fuel. It's another good reason to use good batteries, because good batteries last longer, and that matters, when you're on duty. Those are typical averages.
Now, can you use any aftermarket lithium battery in this, the rechargeables?
You can. So if you switch to disposable in dual fuel mode, so you take the rechargeable battery out and you use, we prefer to say primary cell disposable.
Okay.
Sounds very ungreen, but we don't want to get in trouble these days with not being green. But you can use any disposable AA in the AA version, or CR 123 in that version. We do recommend ours. Ours are tested to last longer. They're built for law enforcement performance. But the nice thing is you can go into any store and buy a battery and be back in business. Now with the rechargeable the lithium ion rechargeable batteries, there's a big difference there. Our lithium ion batteries, we make our own batteries, and they will only work for the most part in our lights. And the reason for that is if you were to take one of those batteries out. So our lithium ion rechargeable batteries are green, and our disposable or primary cells are blue. If you were to take one of them out, and I know your listeners can't see me showing this to you, but most batteries have a positive terminal at one end and a negative at the other. That's your classic battery, anode, cathode, whatever setup. Ours, the positive and negative are both at one end. And the reason for that is it's a safety feature that when you go to recharge the battery, the charging circuit is only at that end of the flashlight, so that you can't accidentally put a lithium battery in there or any other battery and send a charge voltage through it. You could go on YouTube and see lots of unenjoyable videos about police cars on fire and things getting blown up
Right.
because someone put AC power into a non-rechargeable battery and overheated it, and it burst or caught fire.
So a safety feature
absolutely prevents that. You cannot put voltage through any battery that's not meant to get voltage put through it. So,
and that's your battery specifically that you make, but
correct.
This will work with aftermarket batteries. Your lights will work with other
non-rechargeable. So the primary disposable battery, any AA that you could buy in a convenience store, any CR123. Yes, correct.
Gotcha. And they just go to your website to get those specific. Okay, very good.
Yep.
Now the other light that I want to get into these other lights too is the Scribe, the dual fuel Scribe, and this is the DF. Does it have different variations? Is it just the DF on the Scribe?
So we have an original Scribe that's AAA only. That's one of our perennial bestsellers. Part of the reason is it's one of the lights that we use in our training programs as a backup light. So it's become very popular. And at SHOT this year, we introduced the DF variant, which is slightly bigger than the Scribe. It still qualifies as what people would traditionally call a pen light, because it's that sort of pen form factor.
Yeah, it's longer. A
little bit longer. The bezel's slightly wider, but still a very pocketable light. It'll fit in any shirt pocket or sleeve pocket.
Easier to get out of a pocket. It's a little bit longer, so if you're reaching in a pocket,
and our pocket
bag.
clips, you can flip either way. They're removable. You can, just like a knife, you can put the pocket clip up or down depending on how you want to carry. And this one uses, again, a proprietary rechargeable battery on the inside, but then can be replaced with any AAA batteries if you discharge. It also has a new feature that we're adding to a lot of our lights, which is a charge status indicator. So if you turn the bezel into recharging mode.
Got a little green light there that pops up.
Yep. So if you hold it down, the green light indicates a full charge. A yellow light is around 50%, and a red light would be less than 50%. I think I have those numbers right. So when, or less than 20%. I'll have to check my stats on my facts on that. But in any case, red means recharge, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice feature that we've
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Yeah. I am old enough to remember watching that show live.
Well, they brought it back on Netflix, so it's generational now.
Yeah, the original.
Cross-generational.
Yeah. So that's a nice feature. That the Scribe DF is one of our first lights to have that. I think our new XTs have that, and a couple of others, and that we'll keep adding that feature as we can going forward. The Scribe DF.
And it's a 2-click. You got a low setting and a high setting on it as well.
Yeah, we call that double tap. Yep. Yeah. Almost all our lights have that now. So we got the high, low is always 15 lumens. High is, in the case of the Scribe DF.
Now, is there a all right? So I'm flashing it against the wall right now.
Yep.
Is there we know what a lumens is. We know a lumen rating. It's the brightness. Is there like a spread rating of area coverage for the light? Do you have that?
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of, and this gets into a whole topic that we can cover as much or as little as you want. There are so many.
Let's do high level
numbers and specs and things that manufacturers use to describe light performance. So lumens is the most universal. It's the total output of the light. There's a very specific way to measure it. It's actually measured in a ball called a lumisphere. Yeah. So it's as if you captured all the light in one area and measured it. Some people use candle power or candela. Mm-hmm. That's where you see those, big numbers in the thousands or millions or whatever.
Yeah.
And we also we rate beam distance, which is important in our profession. So, for example, the Scribe DF is just under 100 meters, so call it a football field of beam distance. Not bad for a little light.
Mm-hmm.
And then the light pattern varies widely from light to light and manufacturer to manufacturer, and there's purposes for, some people want a very hot spot in the center with a big halo around it to kind of let you see, and that's what a lot of our lights will do, let you see what's going on peripherally but still focus on your main target or subject. Right. So the cone of light, the spread, the intensity in the middle, the hot spot, the halo, there's just they vary pretty dramatically from light to light. Our lights tend to have a pretty bright center in them because the idea is that a law enforcement officer wants to look at what he or she is looking at,
right?
But still have the ability to see what's going on peripherally. So there is a nice halo around it too. Everyone's got a different design and philosophy and theory
right.
on that cone of light.
Now your lights are designed to be weather resistant as well.
Yep, highly weather resistant. They've got silicone O-ring seals in them. They're all, with the exception of our poly lights, they're all anodized aluminum housings and hard coat anodized. So they're built to get beat on, weather wise. We have a lot of the cops who either work for us or are trainers for us are fond of saying that, if you want something broken, give it to a cop. So we try to design to that demand that stuff is going to get abused pretty badly. So,
right.
Weather, dropping, smashing, you name it, we try to build it to that.
Very cool. And then that'll bring us to the third light that I have from you guys, and it is the Dual Fuel XT. And this is the duty light. You were calling this the duty light. Mm-hmm. And this is a feature-rich light. So talk about what all you've got going on with this bad boy.
Yep, that's our flagship, introduced last year, and it's a programmable light, which is cool. It's got, obviously, we always default to the high beam, high setting, which is 600 lumens when it's in rechargeable mode, and actually goes up to 635 if you put disposable cells in there. So you actually get more power, depending on which batteries, which configuration. When you've got two CR123 disposable batteries in place of the 18650 rechargeable, and I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but you wind up getting more power, but you get a shorter runtime because there's a lot of heat being generated,
right?
And heat, drains the batteries. So, but you get 600 to 635 lumens, which is really nice power for law enforcement or just about anything else. And it's programmable. So you turn the bezel, that turns it into programming mode, and then you can cycle through 4 different programmable settings: low, medium, high, and strobe. And again, in getting back to our philosophy that a flashlight should always turn on in high mode, no fuss, no muss, no guessing, what you program actually programs the secondary mode, the double tap. So the first time you turn it on is going to be bright. You cannot unprogram or deprogram that. Then you double tap. When you double tap, you're accessing whatever you programmed in, and you can reprogram it at any time. So if you program strobe, the first touch is going to be high, and that second tap is going to be strobe. Mm-hmm. Strobe, in our opinion, as a law enforcement company, strobe has limited value. It's a controversial topic in flashlights. Strobe disables the user as well as it disables the target. Strobe bothers everybody, so to speak. Mm-hmm. We think it's more appropriate for traffic management and things like that.
I was going to say, that in my story that I was going to tell. So, no, go ahead and finish yours, and I'll tell my story.
No, I mean that's there are people who think that strobe is a control or defensive tactic or disabling mode or whatever, and it certainly is distracting. But like I said, strobe annoys everybody. So if I have my light on strobe, I'm being just as distracted by it as you are. Maybe not quite as much because I'm behind the light and you're in front of it.
Not necessarily distracted, but it's attractive as well. It attracts attention.
But we think it's great for traffic management. We actually make cones that snap on to the ends of these lights, and you put them in strobe mode, and you've got a
cool,
great traffic wand. But there are people. We have a.
So I'm going to tell my story. So I was in the lead sled a couple weeks ago, and my water pump started acting up, and I broke down on this busy 2-lane highway, and there was nowhere to pull off or get out of the way. So I was just right there blocking traffic. It's in a rural area, so I'm not like right in the city or anything like that, but long enough stretch where you can see oncoming traffic. And I was like, man, and my battery was getting low too on my truck, so I couldn't put my flashers on. So I was like, man, what am I going to do? And I remembered I had the XT with me. So I went in my bag and I got it. I knew it had that strobe on there. And I was using that strobe to let people know, that I was there so they wouldn't come and, rear end me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was my personal testimony on that strobe on how it is perfect for, like you said, traffic management. And it was for both ways, too, because people coming in the other direction could also see that strobe, even though I had it pointed, the other direction. Another thing that I've been using it for, so I said the water pump went out. So somebody's got to fix that. So I reverted to YouTube to get some tips and tricks on fixing that, and went and got some parts and whatnot. And, it's hard to see under that hood sometimes.
Yep.
So I was using this, which the brightness was great because I could go to the bright or the dim, so it's not blinding me that close, reflecting off some of the parts and whatnot. But perfect, mechanic kind of flashlight as well. It was working really good. Big enough to where, if you drop it, it's not going to get into those little parts and places where you can't get to it. And you got this little soft handle thing on it too. It makes it very comfortable. As a lot of the home mechanics know, when you're working on stuff, you put flashlights in your mouth. Because you got to use both your hands, and sometimes you can't get that angle, and you don't have a helper. You put it in your mouth. So I found that this was in my mouth a lot as well. So the fact that
you walked into something I have to plug, and I don't remember if I sent it to you or not, but I will. We have our best-selling flashlight accessory is called the Tactical Light Case, or TLC.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually a hands-free. It's not just a holster. So you put the light in. You wear it on your belt. We have one for almost every major light that we sell. You put it bezel down, you turn the light on, and then you rotate it to point at what you're working on, or point behind you if you're walking down the street, or point to the ground to light a path. Rotates 360 degrees and it clicks into position. So you get, because we joke about, cops are writing tickets, they got a light in their mouth, or they got it under their armpit very often.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's inconvenient. So we created this tactical light case, and it's a really cool accessory. And it's great. Like if you're climbing a ladder up into an attic and you want to have both hands, like I personally hate climbing ladders. So, I use it for that. If I've got to go up into the attic, I point it straight up off my belt. Mm-hmm. And then when I get to the top, I just point it in front of me and I light the whole room.
Yeah.
So that was a good.
So I've got an idea, and you hear it first here on Talking Lead. I was saying I was putting this in the mouth. And I've seen a lot of people do that, and you see people do that all the time. And what was good about this is that I could put it a little further, and I get that soft grip. That's where the soft grips come in, is I could bite down on that and not chip my tooth. So if somebody could design one that's designed to go in the mouth, and I'm putting it in my mouth as we're talking right now, I think you would sell a bazillion of those and make $1 bazillion. So maybe it's just an accessory that you put on there. I'm telling you, this is not a crazy idea.
You can a lip clip. You could trademark that.
I don't know. I mean, just like a little mouth guard or something that sticks in the mouth guard.
Yeah.
But for mechanical purposes, I think you would make a ton of money. You make a ton of people happy as well.
Well, they have those football mouth guards with a hole in it for drinking water through. You could probably make that hole just a little bigger and jam a flashlight.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you could extend that softness, that padding on down into the, the clicking area toward the end of it, or even on these smaller ones, those would be perfect too. Because a headlamp doesn't work as good. You still don't get that as you would, because your mouth is actually going right where you're looking most of the time. Where your head's turning. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there. You could jump on that project with me, or
I'll pass it on. We'll see how that goes.
We'll pass it on to R&D, but I think it's a gold mine. But so these three flashlights I've been trying out. I've been very pleased with them for different applications. The EDC for the Garda, which is great. I mean, even this duty light's a great EDC light. So it's a little bigger. It's going to take up a little more space, a little more weight, but it's perfect. Oh, another feature we didn't talk about was the click that you have on this XT.
Yep.
Let's talk about that real quick.
that's a super important feature on all of our duty lights is our rotary switch, which is one of our sort of trademark things that we're known for. It's a three-way switch. It's intermittent on or constant on or locked in the middle. So some people call it intermittent momentary, but basically intermittent or momentary is where you push the button and it lights. When you let go of the button, the light goes off. Constant is when you click the button and it stays on until you click it again, and locked is locked. There's a reason for that, and again, trying to not get too far into the weeds, but in training, we talk about this is kind of one of the things I think is one of the coolest things about what goes into the design of our lights, and I love to talk about this. And when we do flashlight training, we talk about whether the light is in your weapon hand or your reaction hand. So let's just assume everybody's right-handed if the world were perfect. And so your weapon hand's your right hand, your reaction hand's your left hand. When you draw the flashlight, an ASP flashlight, and you rotate up with your thumb on that switch, if the flashlight is in your weapon hand, it will go to constant on. The theory being that you must be safe, because if you were not safe, you'd have a weapon in your weapon hand. So there's no risk of presenting a target with a constant on light because it's in your right hand. So it's suggesting that you must be in a situation where you're not in danger. So it'll go to constant on. If you do the same thing with the thumb of your reaction hand, left hand in my case, it will turn into momentary on, so that if you're doing quick peeks with a gun, or you just don't want to be presenting a bright white target, the light will always go off when you let go. The idea being, once you learn that big gross motor skill of pushing up with your thumb in either hand, the light will always turn on in the mode that you need it to.
Right.
In a situation, you can stop thinking about it. So I just think that's it always impressed me that.
Well, it all goes into the training too. So it goes to our philosophy on the show is, if you're going to have something, especially if it's going to be an EDC and it's a life-saving piece of kit, you need to know how to use it. So train with it, know it inside and out.
Yep.
And that goes with these lights as well. So it's feature rich, and learning those features on them are going to be greatly beneficial to you. But so I've been very impressed with all, and I probably still haven't used all the features of this light either. But I was just noticing that if I turn it on and then I do the click, I click it over, I can't, it stays on permanently. So if there's a situation to where you don't want it to accidentally get clicked off, you can lock it to be constantly on there too. So that's kind of cool. And I also like the clicks on it, that a lot of these lights, when you click them, which is not a bad thing, but this one is very quiet. It's not a very loud click. It's a very soft, muted click when you're engaging the light on and off. So I like that feature about it is also. And your clip that you've got on it is the pocket clip. It seems to be very, what's the word I want to use? Elastic. It's not gonna break. It seems to have some good give in it.
Yep, it's a polymer clip that we make ourselves. Again, we pretty much make everything ourselves, and we don't just buy wire clips off the shelf and clip them on. So it's designed to be removable and replaceable.
And I like the polymer aspect of it too, because it's easier on your clothes than the metal.
Fabric friendly is
fabric friendly. Yeah, I like that.
It's important in our flashlight design, all of our products, because many officers wear uniforms, and they've got to keep them in good shape when they can. So you don't want to be tearing stuff up.
Right.
With rough surfaces or sharp metal and things like that.
So as I use these more and more, guys, I'll report back to you. But so far they have performed flawlessly. I've not had any problems with these lights. They're great lights for home, for your EDC, for your vehicles, and for duty. Definitely for duty. But what I want to talk about, we were talking about lumens earlier, and you've got a fact to fight the myth when it comes to lumens. Now it's time for the Talking Lead
Fact to Fight the Myths
with Michael Hess of ASP.
So it's a two-part fact to fight the myth about lumens. One is about advertising, if you will, which is everyone knows there's tons of lights on the market that call themselves tactical. People paint them black and put some sharp edges on them and give them a cool name, tack this, tack that. It doesn't make them tactical, and it doesn't mean that everything they say about it is accurate. Lumens are measured a very specific way, and some, I guess, less discreet brands or mass market brands or non-brands will put a lumen number on there that's either a total myth or was measured in the first couple of seconds that the light turns on when it burns super bright and hot, and then usually settles down dramatically to a much lower lumen level. Lumens need to be measured a certain way for a certain amount of time to be accurate. And we actually, ASP is a founding member of a group called Play-Doh, Portable Lights American Trade Organization. You can look it up if you're a flashlight geek. It's a collective of like-minded competitors. So there are many other well-known brands, friendly competitors of ours who are in Play-Doh, and the organization exists to enforce ANSI standards, FL1 standards for flashlight performance measurements. So whether it's the beam distance or the lumens or so on, that there's a standard that everybody follows, a testing standard. There's a book. There's certain kinds of labeling. So you'll see for many of our esteemed competitors, you'll see that the ANSI icons that show the lumens and the beam distance and so on are exactly the same as the ones we use. So myth number one is that you get what you pay for. You sometimes don't get what you pay for. And so you want to make sure that you're buying from a credible manufacturer who's stating performance accurately.
And as a civilian, or just as anybody, I mean, there's no way to test. Somebody's advertising X amount of lumens. There's no device to test to see if you're actually getting that I'm aware of.
No, and the truth is that the human eye can't even tell, within pretty broad ranges. Like if I put let's say there is an actual number to a scientific number to it, how much you can tell from one to the next. But if I put a 400 lumen light in your eyes and a 600 lumen light in your eyes,
not going to know the difference. Yeah,
you're not going to probably know the difference. It matters that, obviously at distance and range and things like that. But people, a manufacturer can put whatever they want on a box and people will believe it, unfortunately. We're very meticulous. In fact, lumens can often vary from one production run of LEDs to the next. And we measure every batch that we manufacture. And if the lumens change, sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down a little. We will actually change the labeling on our boxes. So what is in that box is actually meeting the performance standard that we put on the side. But more importantly, or as importantly, in terms of myths, there's, I think, some people who are just in that sort of tactical mindset think that everything should be a light cannon. And people call them throwers or whatever, where it's like they want to see how much light they can put down range.
The brighter the better. Yeah.
And they want it to look like there's a locomotive coming at them or whatever. But in law enforcement and certain military applications, because that's a part of our audience too, there is actually such a thing as too much, because light bounces off things. And if you're in a room, pitch black room, and you suddenly turn on a big hand cannon of a light, you can blind yourself too. You've got scatter, splashback, things like that. So there's a sweet spot for the average law enforcement application. There's times, there's things that are, companies make scene lights that can literally light up an entire crime scene or whatever. That's not what we're about. We're about a handheld light that'll be useful in most or all law enforcement situations. So we try to find that sweet spot, like the XT at 600 or so lumens. We certainly have had brighter lights, and we'll have more other brighter lights for people that need them for certain applications.
Right.
But maximum brightness is a bragging point that doesn't always matter and can actually be counterproductive in critical situations. So that's something that people should understand. Everything should have a purpose. Don't just put it in there because you can.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. That's the first fact to fact the myth that we've had in a while. Thank you for that. That was very good. Now, what I want to talk about is, we talked about the history of the company. You talked a little bit about the background of the company, right?
Yep, a little bit.
You did that? Okay. We talked about these three lights that I've been using in particular. Let's talk about new products that you have available. New lights in particular.
Yep. So we talked about three of them. The Scribe DF is brand new. Garda is pretty new. And XT, we introduced last year, so it still qualifies as pretty new. We also have a new poly light, so polymer housing instead of aluminum.
Oh, okay.
The poly DF, it's a dual fuel light, rechargeable. The poly housing will take a nice beating. It doesn't show wear and tear.
A lot lighter.
It's lighter. Feels good in all weather conditions. It doesn't get too hot, too cold, etc. And it is a little bit lower cost. I mean, we don't make cheap lights, but it's a little more accessible in terms of price point. So we've got the new poly light. We just introduced a new family of lights called Sentinel, which is actually our first triple fuel lights.
Triple fuel.
We'll get you some of those after the show.
Okay.
They actually they're about Garda size, and they run on 3 different fuel sources. I think I have them here. It's too bad your listeners will have to visualize.
They run on gas.
Yeah. Well, you can throw wood in them.
Throw wood.
Wood or coal fired. So they're a little bit bigger than the Garda, but same general form factor with a 2-position switch at the end, or constant or single switch, constant or intermittent on. And there's a AA and a CR version of that, and they run on either the rechargeable battery or a CR battery, or they can run on standard AA as well. So AA, CR123, or the 16340, which is the rechargeable battery.
Okay, cool.
So
awesome.
If one doesn't work, you toss that, get the next one.
I mean, that's even more options are better, especially if you're talking to the survivalist, the post-apocalyptic, or just an emergency type situation. It's like, crap, I'm out of the CR123s, or I don't want to spend that much on a CR123. I'll get the AA.
It's like multi-caliber gun without having to change the barrels.
I like that example. That's awesome. So yeah, triple fuel. I'm digging that. And that's called the what?
Sentinel.
The Sentinel. Okay.
We've got a Sentinel. We call it triple fuel technology. So dual fuel is DF. Triple fuel we call E3 for energy, 3 or 3 forms of energy. There's a Sentinel that's high and low for double tap, and there's a Sentinel that's high and strobe for double tap.
Okay.
So that's one of our newest. Scribe DF we already covered, and I'm probably forgetting something that we just introduced, and we've got some new accessories that are coming out as well. We're always working on light technology changes constantly.
Mm-hmm. So you talked about the DOT, the Tactical T USB. Did you talk about that?
So the Tactical T is an attachment for a baton.
Okay.
So it replaces the depending on whether it's a friction lock or push button or talon lock baton. We have flashlights that can replace the end cap or the button at the end of the baton that let the baton do double duty.
How cool is that?
We call our strategic category. So I talked about everyday carry, transitional, and duty. Strategic is our 4th category, and we call it strategic because it's really for just very specialized purposes. It's not a day in, day out kind of thing.
Very cool.
So we make 3 different lights that go on the end of batons as well. Yeah.
So guys, go to asp-usa.com, and everything that we're talking about you're going to be able to see on their website. They've got it nicely laid out there for you guys to check out. Their flashlights, all their other products, the restraints, the batons, the personal safety. They have pocket tools, their batteries. If you've got their flashlights, you're using them, you can go there and get the fuel for those. And then you also have red guns, and you have training gear. And that's something I want to talk about is you guys also offer training. Talk about that real quick for our listeners.
So training is the heart and soul of everything that we do at ASP. That's the P is procedures. So we've got armament systems and procedures. The procedures are more important than anything to us. And ironically, I think if you ask most people in the company what we're most proud of, as much as we're proud of our products, I think you'd get 100% answer that we're most proud of our training, because that's where the rubber meets the road, where we're keeping our slogan is protecting those who protect, and we mean it. And what's interesting is we do training, forgive the immodesty, we do training so well, and yet we don't make any money at it. It's something that we do. We give away tuition free. We've done it over time in over 100 countries. I think we're up to 104 now. We do about 80 or more what we call AICs, which is ASP instructor certification, around the world every year. Each one is an average of 50 law enforcement officers from 10 to 15 agencies per course. We have a very elite cadre of trainers who we send around the world. Most of them are active law enforcement, retired law enforcement, and a lot of military experience. We typically send 2 trainers per class. It's all at our expense. In fact, we even give the equipment to the students for free, so we don't even sell them anything. They leave with hundreds of dollars worth of gear. And the idea is that they get certified as instructors, and they can then go into their departments or agencies and teach at a basic level what they learned to their colleagues, their brothers and sisters in the department, so that they can go out and
awesome.
use defensive tactics properly. And it's typically a 3-day class, and we call it integrated training. And this is really important because we integrate the use of these key duty belt items, which are your baton, handcuffs, and flashlight. The handcuffs and flashlight, without a doubt, probably get taken off the belt and used more than anything else. Certainly, hopefully more than a gun, and more than even a baton. And so it's important that they understand the way these tools work together. And so we teach a lot of skills and drills and transitions and gaining compliance and restraining people using a flashlight as a defensive tool and as a control tool, and then how these 3 items, baton, cuffs, and lights, all work together in eventually gaining control and properly restraining a subject. So we're very, very proud of these training programs. They're intense. They're very physical. We get rave reviews for them. There's a lot of cops will tell you how proud they are that they graduated from it. Not everybody does. I mean, people have failed, so it's not and everybody gets a trophy kind of thing. And like I said, we do it. We don't charge a penny for it. We do it so that cops will go out there and use their equipment properly and be safe.
That's awesome. And how do they sign up for these courses? They go online?
Yeah, if they can go to our website to the training tab, and there's a sub tab for training programs and class schedules, and they can see where the upcoming AIC instructor certification classes are, and they can actually sign up right online. There are obviously qualifications. It's not something we don't teach civilians. It is a law enforcement training program.
Sure.
So,
and we have a lot of law enforcement first responders that listen to the show.
And we do. I mean, we do get private security sometimes. There needs to be a certain basic level of qualification to be, coming to learn defensive tactics our way. Typically, agencies will, send groups of people from their agency, 2, 3, 4 people from an agency to a course. But you can inquire if you're a law enforcement officer or if you are professional security, military. We do a lot of MPs and so on. We've had whole classes for military police. So you can look there, see if there's a training near you or one that's accessible to you. And if you're a qualified personnel, you can apply right online. We take a deposit online. That's only because all of our classes overbook, and the deposit's fully refundable. Once you complete the class, we refund it.
Oh,
and
nice.
We only do that because the worst thing is when we book a class for 50 people and 3 don't show up. That means there's 3 officers who didn't get the chance to get trained.
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes
we just
sense.
do that to ensure.
That's fair. I mean, that's completely fair.
And for the most part, every one of our courses winds up running a wait list. So the first day we lay out all this stuff on the training table in front of them. We're like, this is all yours to keep. And it's like they get some cuffs and flashlight, baton, some scabbards, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And then our hope is they go back to their department and they say to their quartermaster or their DT person, if they're
Who's
not
ever in charge of buying, and
whoever, like, I like this training, I like this gear, we ought to T&E it, and we'll send them a testing and evaluation units, and then maybe a year later we'll see something out of it. So it's not like, there's no instant sales cycle here, and that's not why we do it. It happens that it pays that dividend for us, and that more and more departments will adopt our stuff if they get trained by us. But I'll tell you, there's far easier and cheaper ways to advertise. Yeah, and I think, we hope that they believe in our tactics too. I mean, I'm not going to get up again, but we've got entire textbooks that we write about this stuff. we literally wrote the book on this, on baton training and handcuff training, and just legally defensible, less lethal, de-escalation tactics, which is what we're all about. And so we're there to train for 3 days. We do generally have a distributor on hand to answer any questions if someone needs something, but it's not like a Tupperware party where we get people together to show them stuff and ask for their money.
Yeah.
We're very philosophical about it. We take a long view. If we're good to law enforcement, we know that law enforcement will be good to us.
Yeah.
And
you were also showing me you've got some videos on your website showing some of the training, and of course that was pretty cool. So you guys get an opportunity, make sure you go to their website. It's asp-usa.com. You see all their products. You can see the training videos there. And if you are LE listening to this podcast and you've got interest in those training courses, you get in touch with them there to inquire about those courses as well.
Yep. Just go to the training tab and there's a place to contact us.
Yeah, and I don't think we talked about this either, Michael. Where you guys are out of Wisconsin, right?
Yep. The headquarters is in Wisconsin. We're kind of a global company. We're not a big conglomerate corporation, but we're headquartered in Wisconsin, Appleton, Wisconsin. And then we have directors who are based all over the world, who are kind of our people in the field who handle sales, service, training, coordination, basically just out there spreading the gospel and helping our distributors and our agencies get the right gear, including overseas. And then manufacturing wise, we have manufacturing both domestic and offshore. We do a lot of handcuff assembly in Appleton. We do some domestic baton assembly. We have the resources to make things in multiple locations, which is often a requirement based on either bid timing or bid specifications. If an agency, especially overseas, needs a product with a certain amount of American content, we have that flexibility. So, we're pretty reasonably diversified for a medium-sized company, if you will.
Nice. Very good. So, what we want to do now, and this is in conjunction with our 300th episode celebration, is Michael has come up with a giveaway for you lead heads. And this is for civilian and law enforcement. So what we want you guys to do is, and it's going to be similar to the Talking Lead EDC Pocket Dump Rewards program that we did. We're going to call this the ASP Gear Rewards program. And we want you to go out, and again, this is in conjunction with counteracting all the negativity towards our law enforcement men and women out there. Go out and let them know how much you appreciate their service, what they're doing for your communities, your areas, and just ask politely if it's okay if you do a selfie or a video with the individual or individuals, and post that. And we want you to tag ASP, and it's at ASP USA on Instagram and Facebook, so it's the same. Obviously, tag Talking Lead, at Talking Lead, and then we want you to use these hashtags. Hashtag ASP Gear and hashtag TL300. And you can use any other hashtags that you want, but that's how we're going to be able to track these and find them easily. And we're going to run this for, about a month or so. So 4 or 5 episodes is usually what that comes out to be, Michael. Give you guys plenty of time, plenty of opportunity. And then ASP is going to give away 3 prizes. And you want to tell them what you're giving away?
Yeah, the images or videos that are judged or picked by our crack team.
We're going to randomly pick. It's going to be all random.
We're going to give you our XTDF flashlight that we discussed in this podcast, and including a full multi-piece power and charging accessory kit. So you'll get carrying case, retractable cord, AC adapter, 12-volt adapter, battery case, so you'll be good to go.
Nice.
It's our full top-of-the-line setup. So
Very nice.
that's worth about $160 each. So it's
that is awesome. So there you go, guys. Almost $200 worth of light kit there for you guys. The XDDF, which I have been using, and I absolutely love it, and I know you guys will too. So we're going to pick 3 random people, and it's going to be in about a month, and I'll let you guys know when we start picking. But we're going to do it over 3 episodes. So we'll do an episode once we're in. So we're looking at somewhere around, was this June? So mid-June is when we'll give the first one away, and then we'll give the next 2 episodes of Talking Lead. We'll give 2 more away. So 3 total. And if you're LE, if you're law enforcement, and you're currently using ASP gear in your post, make sure that you're showing the piece of kit or gear that you're using from ASP, or if you're doing a video and you want to do a little talk about, how much you like it or whatever, then you're going to get a little additional bonus prize.
Oh,
if yours is chosen. So, little incentive for the LEs out there. So that's awesome, Michael. Thank you for doing that.
Sure.
I want to see a lot of participation in this Lead Heads. You guys did a really good job on our EDC Pocket Dump Rewards program, and I think we're going to get a lot of good response from this too. Also, you have to go and like or subscribe to ASP's Instagram and their Facebook page. So when we pick the winners, we're going to make sure that you've gone and done that too. And I'm assuming you're already following me, so
hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. But you're gonna take our some of these posts and repost them on your pages too, and share them and do all that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So you guys are gonna really love that light. And for those of you, if you want to go ahead to their website and pick up some of these awesome flashlights, is some of this stuff just for LE, or can civilians buy most of the stuff that you've got on the website?
So first of all, we're available through distribution as well. So if you have a law enforcement first responder distributor in your area, or you shop at one of the major national law enforcement distributors,
good point.
Cop shops in your town, some FFLs, but for the most part, they're uniform stores and police supply stores and first responder stores. You can find our stuff. There's a dealer locator on our site, so you can find a local place to buy.
Yeah.
We always encourage doing business with our distributors. If you can't find something locally, you can order on our website. And to your question, our policy is law enforcement batons in particular, and restraints are intended for law enforcement. And in many states and locales, their batons are illegal.
Okay. That's what I was getting. As long as it's legal in your state, your area, check with your local laws. We're not attorneys, so it's up to you. And of course, I know you guys probably keep up with where you can and where you can't ship to.
Yeah, there's certain. Yeah, I mean, where we are able to restrict it, we do. Like for example, with pepper spray, there's 5 states we can't ship pepper spray, and we don't. Batons. Our products, other than flashlights, our product and pepper spray, our products are generally intended for law enforcement. We expect that the people who do business with us are, like we all know in our crowd of gun owners and CCW people and all of that, are some of the most responsible citizens that you'll ever find, and we expect that to be true when people do business with us. So you're required to to check on our website that you have checked local laws and are authorized to buy or own or carry whatever you're buying. So we require that acknowledgement before we let you order. So it's a little bit of, we expect people to, obey the law.
What I was saying was if you'd like to go ahead and purchase some of their kit, some of their gear, their lights, discount code. Michael has set up an awesome discount code for you lead heads.
So this discount code happens to be for flashlights and related accessories, because that was our topic today. So
okay,
and also and also that's something that anybody can buy in any location with no restrictions. So
Sure.
LED 20, LEAD 20, will get you 20% off any regular priced flashlights, batteries, power accessories, flashlight holster, etc. Anything that's not already discounted. We've also got some closeouts and factory offers and things on there, but that are already good prices. But anything in our flashlight category or tactical lighting category that's regular price, you'll get 20% off.
And here's another deal just in. So you guys go to their website, and it's just for their website. I mean, you can't go to a local store that's carrying, and this code's not going to work. It's for ASP-USA's website. Any of their lights or light accessories and power sources, 20% off. That's awesome. And how long is that going to be good for? How long are we going to run that? Just run it till the end of August. That way we'll make sure that our slackers get an opportunity to take part on that too. So limited time, guys. You're going to have till the end of August for that discount code, and if we get a lot of participation, who knows? They may look at extending that for you guys. So
be happy to.
Awesome. So before we get off here, I know we've been talking for a while, and this was only supposed to be like a 20-minute interview. I want to hit you with the new guy questions.
Okay.
So now it's time for the Talking Lead.
New guy. And sometimes a girl. Questions.
So, Michael, first question is, do you have any law enforcement or military background?
No, not directly.
Or first responder?
First responder in my youth, yes. I was an EMT for 4 years during my college years. That was my college money.
Oh, nice. Okay.
On an intercity ambulance. So I definitely got a taste of that. We got all the 911 calls and gunshot wounds, and I definitely got a taste of that world back then. I don't know that I'd want to do it again in this world, but that was the early 80s, and life was simpler then.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I do. Now that you mention, I do have that experience. My career goal as a kid was to join the military and be a pilot. That's all I ever wanted to do.
Same here.
And that I tried, but it didn't work out, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Still an aviation fanatic. I've never lost that. But through a variety of circumstances, my that career path was cut short. But I come from a long and proud military family. My father was a naval officer. He's actually a World War II refugee from Europe, and felt that military service was the least he could do for the country that took him in. And maybe there's a lesson in that. I'm not going to get political while I'm wearing my
we don't get that much these days, do we?
Yep. So he felt that was
got a lot of entitled people coming over here these days.
Yep. So he was a naval officer. I have a great uncle who's still alive. I think he just turned 97. Who was a B-17 pilot in World War II.
Oh, wow.
I have another late uncle who was a Marine Corps captain. I have had cousins who are cops. So none of that gives me any street cred, but it sure puts me in a proud family, and I that means a lot to me.
That's awesome. So did you say your granddad was World War II?
My great uncle was a World War II bomber pilot, B-17 pilot.
Okay, he's still alive?
He is. I think he just turned 97 last week. Shout out to Uncle Hesh.
Uncle Hesh, that's awesome. We had not too long ago when we were at SHOT Show, actually, Al Mampry, who is the last surviving member of the Easy Company Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
We had him on. Just a treat to have him on. He's still very sharp-minded, quick-witted.
Yeah, those guys are greatest generation guys and women.
Yeah, still known as the greatest generation. So
I had a really cool. I'll just indulge myself. I had a really cool treat related to that, in that our company is based in Appleton, Wisconsin, and the neighboring city is Oshkosh, where, if you probably know, is
fly-ins
once a year is the busiest airport in the world for several days.
Yeah,
with the fly-in, which I've gone to several years, and the EAA museum is there. It's a beautiful aviation museum. And I was in Oshkosh. I go to Appleton, every few weeks for work, and I noticed online that the EAA museum was having an exhibit of World War II nose art.
Oh,
they used
cool.
to paint,
Yeah.
They used to, in the good old days, they'd paint often
Pin up
racing,
girls and different things like that on there.
and they were showing actual. These are not reproductions; the actual cutaway metal from the actual planes. And sure enough, there's my uncle's nose art, because my aunt is the girl in his nose art.
Really? That is cool.
And it's legendary in our family. And I'm like, holy crap! The actual aluminum panel from his B-17 is 20 minutes away from me right now. I've got to go there.
That is amazing.
I ran to the museum right when it opened, and I told them the story, and they're like, they wouldn't take my money for admission.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we want to show you in person, and it was just an amazing treat to touch it and see it up close.
How long have they had that?
They've had that. It was supposed to be temporary while they built the new. What do they call? They used to call it the Confederate Air Force in Texas, but political correctness forced them to change it to some other consolidated Air Force museum or something like that.
Sure.
And they were holding it pending that opening of that new museum.
Huh.
But I think it may still be there. If it's not, it's in Texas.
I mean, you guys need to make sure you keep track of that. That's going to be a family heirloom, man.
Well, I don't think we're going to get his nose art back.
Well, you might. You never know. You know how stuff like that, when it gets passed around, it turns up missing somehow, and you guys definitely don't want that to happen.
I'll talk to my cousins, his sons about it.
You need to buy it and loan it back to them for the museum, and that way you guys still have ownership of it.
It's either way. It was an amazing treat to see it live, because I've seen pictures of it since I was a kid.
So is he still sharp? Quick.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm in touch with his kids.
Would love to hear some of his stories.
He's every family has the coolest dude in the family.
It's him.
He was like central casting movie bomber pilot with the with the gold Ray bands and hair, and it looked like he was out of a movie. So he's very, very, very cool dude. We love him.
That's cool. All right, next question is: when you're growing up, what's your earliest recollection of shooting a firearm?
That's a great question.
Could be a BB gun, could be a rifle. What's the?
I do track those things. That's a great question. I'm actually prepared for it. So I don't know how old I look, but I think I'm older than I look, or I think I look younger than I am. So this goes back like 40 plus years. And my first recollection is my dad. That's usually the case for a lot of young boys.
Yeah.
My
dad or granddad. Yeah.
Taking me to a stream and shooting a BB gun at a berm, basically, throwing some cans up or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I even remember, I don't remember what model it was, but I can picture the BB gun. It looked like a Ruger 22 target pistol kind of look, and that's my and of course I was hooked and have been ever since. And then after that, eventually, probably at around 13 or 14 or something, started shooting 22s.
Mm-hmm. Shotguns, things like that.
Yeah. I did not grow up in a hunting family, so I don't hunt. But I grew up in a target shooting plinking family, and I actually.
Do you still have any of those rifles from your childhood or guns?
I have a not from my child. I did find an old pellet gun, which I got rid of. I should have probably kept it. I still have a BB gun that's in a closet at Crossman. Interestingly, Crossman, legendary BB gun company, pellet gun company, is based right here in upstate New York, where I am, 20 minutes down one street from my house.
Interesting.
And I was just there recently and was touring the factory, and they make everything there. Not to be here to plug Crossman, but it's like what manufacturing used to be. They make every BB there. They make
really?
They make the CO2 there. They make every pellet there. And it was such a treat to see an actual American manufacturing company that's 100% vertical. Every wood stocks are made there.
Wow.
The guns are made there. The BBs, I mean, billions and billions of BBs. They make them.
Absolutely.
They're out of wire.
Yeah.
And it's right down the street. And
that's cool. That'd be an awesome tour to do.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So I and then I started getting my own firearms. And
what's the first one that you could call your own that you actually purchased yourself?
So the first rifle that I purchased would have been probably a Marlin 22, like a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And the first I still have my first two pistols, which I got exactly 30 1 years ago, amazingly. And one is a Smith & Wesson Model 439, and one is a Smith & Wesson Model 422. That was a plinking gun.
Cool.
And they're both still in the safe because I can't bear to part with them.
Now, I didn't ask you this. Do you have children?
I do.
And have you taken them out to shoot and plink?
My son, who's turning 20 in July, he's a college student and plans to be a law enforcement officer, which I'm very proud of. He loves shooting, so he's gone out shooting with me. My daughter's not interested. My wife is from how can I be kind, family that doesn't like guns.
Sure, they exist.
But to her credit, she's tried it, and it just didn't stick. But she tolerates my hobby.
Well, that's good.
That's all you can ask for.
All right, next question is, when it comes to pop culture, what is your go-to, whether it's a movie, TV show, maybe a book or magazine that's firearms related, that's gun related?
Oh man, yeah. It's almost like I sent you these questions. These are good questions that are you're teeing them up for me.
Yeah. I told you they weren't going to be hard.
Well, I don't know. So the first thing that came to mind instantly when you said pop culture, because I'm a pop culture fanatic. The movie, and I think I'm very close with both my brothers, and there's probably not I would say between the three of us, there's probably not a single day that goes by that one of us doesn't quote or borrow something from Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
Which the first time I saw Pulp Fiction, I didn't get it, and I thought it was terrible. And by the third time, I realized it was probably the best movie ever made. So we use a lot of...
It's one of those you got to watch several times to really appreciate.
Genius dialogue. Dialogue. So that's not really a gun movie.
It kind of is, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's true. There's guns in it, but plenty of them. I mean, in terms of just plain old action movies, boy, there's so many of them. Well, we were talking about John Wick 3 coming out this week.
Yeah.
Before we went on the air here, and I'm dying to see that. I think
that's a lot of people's go-to is John Wick.
It's really been embraced by the gun community. I think partially because it's just great sequences, and partially because Keanu Reeves, by way of getting trained for those movies, actually became a credible 3-gun shooter. And so, unlike a lot of the people you see on TV and movies who don't make it look very good, he makes it look good.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully go see that with my son this week when it comes out.
Cool.
So those are two good ones. Yeah.
Now, did you grow up with comic books?
Ish. But not the cool kind. I grew up with like Archie comics. I probably shouldn't say that.
You're not that old. How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
I was going to say you're close to my age. I'm 48.
I wish. 53.
Oh, yeah, you're close to my age. Shit.
You're still in your 40s, and I'm not.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I've got two older brothers, and I mean, one's older than you, and then one's probably about your age. So that's how I got into it, was through them. I had two older brothers that they were into the comic books, and I would get some of their hand-me-downs, and then, of course, I started on my own. But
yeah, I'm the oldest, so I got no hand-me-downs, and I did occasionally. We'd have like the Marvel, DC, like Superman, Spider-Man stuff, but I never got deep. Like people now it's just a massive obsession, and I don't even know half the stuff they're talking about.
Back in the day, it was a massive obsession. I just think it's become more mainstream now, and that's where you're getting a lot of that. But
what I did have was a pretty extraordinary baseball card collection.
Right? Yeah, I was going to say baseball cards too. Yeah, football cards.
I grew up in Queens in New York City, and I grew up, bike ride distance away from Shea Stadium, was then called Shea Stadium, where the Mets played. And I had a huge multi-year complete baseball card collection that included, Reggie Jackson rookie card and all that kind of stuff. Every one of them in mint condition. And some guy.
And then there's a tragic story behind it. What happened?
I was always trying to get money. Growing up, I didn't have a lot, and I was always trying to do something to get my hands on some money. And I was probably, I don't know what, a young teenager. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, I know a guy who'll buy your baseball card collection." And I said, "Really?" And I brought these boxes of baseball cards to this guy in a hobby store who said, "I'll give you $50 for it." And because $50 then to me sounded like all the money in the world.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, and he took out 2 20s and a 10 right in front of me. And I'm like, all right.
He's sold.
There's
thousands of
a year
dollars
that goes by that I don't think about tracking that guy down for taking advantage of a stupid teenager.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm sure that collection would be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No doubt.
Yeah.
If only, hindsight 2020.
Right. Yeah, I got a lot of those woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Yeah. All right, next question is what is your next gotta have, wanna have, whether it's firearm or piece of kit? What are you looking at? What are you eyeing?
One that I could actually acquire, or one that if money were no object.
Well, that's coming up.
Okay.
It's like you've listened to the show before or something.
my next acquisition will be a wheel gun. Because that needs to be added to the collection. And aside from them being back in style in a big way, I've just got kind of renewed my appreciation for what elegant machines they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically perfect machines. And so I'm thinking, I have never owned a Ruger firearm in my life. And that GP100 looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I had one of those.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
So I'm thinking a GP100 4-inch stainless with the...
That'd be a good choice.
Yeah. So that's my next one.
Cool. All right. So next question is, laws be damned, money be damned. What would you own? It doesn't have to be firearm.
Oh, well, if it's not firearms, we'll never get done with this discussion because there's a long ass list of that stuff. In firearms, and maybe I'm not setting my sights high enough, and maybe some of the true enthusiasts would think I'm not. I don't have.
Don't say it. Don't say a Barrett 50 cal.
No, but I would,
okay.
But it'd be fun. Scar 17 in long guns and Colt Python.
The Colt Python, okay.
But
because those are still. I mean, they're not unattainable as far as price goes, but they're still kind of pricey.
They're both $3,000 to $4,000. I mean, they're not. Yeah, they're not. Yeah. They're not.
So outside of firearms, what would you?
Man,
it could be anything. Yeah. You could own anything. Laws be damned, money be damned.
It's really hard to know. I mean, I actually there's not a whole lot that I want, but my other obsession, which seems like a weird opposite of shooting. You can probably see behind me because you and I are chatting. But my other obsession is sailboat racing.
Oh, okay.
And so I guess if nothing mattered and money didn't matter and all of that, there'd probably be a really, really nice sailboat parked somewhere, preferably in the south, not up here in the north.
Sail the world?
Just do some racing, a little cruising, but I don't have aspirations to sail around the world. But
so a really nice like racing sailboat,
good racer cruiser that I can take to the Caribbean and stuff like that. So
what do those normally run? I'm not into the sailboating world.
The range is infinite. I mean, you could buy
anything else.
I mean, you can buy an older boat, 40-foot boat in the high tens of thousands of dollars. You could buy one for $1 million.
Okay, I was going to say top of the line, all the bells and whistles, million bucks.
Top of the line, all the bells and whistles over 40 feet. You're between 700-800 and yeah.
Cool. All right, next question is, if you could spend the day at the range with anyone or any group of people, whether they're still alive, fictional, or past, who would you choose and why?
Crap. That is going to be a hard one to answer.
It's who's popping in your head right now? Just say that. That's the answer.
I don't have one. Nothing popped in my head.
You could spend the day at the range with anybody.
Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle. Okay. It's a good choice. You want to do some precision shooting, learn how to...
Yep. Absolutely. That's that's my favorite kind of shooting to do is just lying down prone and shooting at distance. I mean, not 2, 3, 4K, but anything in the hundreds.
7K?
What's that last attempt was 6 something, right?
So with Charlie Melton, we attempted, I say we were all out there. Charlie was attempting 6,170 yards, which is over 3.5 miles. So he's got it dialed in. It's going to happen. We were thinking we're going to go back out and try it again the end of this month. I think we're pushing it to June now. But he is going to nail that one and then push it on back to probably 7 and just let that sit for a while. And then, if that ever gets broken, then he'll move it back further.
I saw one of the 5K shot videos. I don't remember who it was, but I just remember seeing, I think he hit it on the 5th shot or something. And and I remember just hearing about the optics, because it's not possible to shoot that distance with any normal optics. There's some kind of special ramp or whatever. It's got to go.
There's all kinds of special mounts and attachments that you got to use to be able to get the correct elevation.
Yeah.
So but you can still see. I mean, I got to shoot it, and I was looking through his scope, and I mean, you could see the target, but you can't see like nuts on, So you can basically see an outline, and you put your dot on there and hope it gets there. But it's ridiculous, all the calculations and things that come into it. But
it's crazy stuff. But it is just really fun to just breathe and shoot one shot at a time with a bolt action rifle, and
or even a semi-auto. I mean, I like doing semi-auto precision shooting also.
Yeah, well, you can sit.
You see
still.
behind me, I've got a couple of 308 set up for the long range precision. I've got a 4-32 scope on one of those.
Yeah. Wow.
So I can definitely reach out there. Right On Optics, the official optics of Talking Lead, by the way.
I saw that.
But yeah, so Chris Kyle, would what about fictional characters? Who would you like to spend some time with?
Well, the instant answer, only because it was already sitting in my head, was John Wick.
Yeah. He's a popular choice. We had several people say John Wick.
I can't go as silly as like Nakatomi Plaza kind of stuff. That with Bruce Willis, that's just not real.
Sure, you can, but that's the thing. It's fictional.
That's too fictional.
No, it's perfect.
Come out to the coast. We'll have a few laughs.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay. Who else do I like in the fictional world? I like the what's his name, Jason Statham movies, but Jason Bourne.
Okay, Jason Bourne
Statham too, but the Bourne movies.
Yeah,
I can hang with him.
That'd be good. What about historical?
Are we still talking about going to the range or just historical figures?
Well, but basically the question's designed is like, who would you like to hang out with?
Well, if you take the range element out of it, I'd like to hang out with Winston Churchill.
Okay. I mean, you can hang out the range with Winston Churchill, unless you want to paint with him. He was a big painter. He was an artist.
Patton would probably be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Love to, toward the end of his life, get what was on his mind.
Yeah.
During the end of the war there.
Yeah.
Before he passed away in that car accident.
And I always liked Teddy Roosevelt.
There you go. Very good. So that was easy. That was painless, right?
Not too bad.
So there you go. Now you have been acclimated. You're an official Leadhead now.
Awesome.
Welcome to the Lead Head Brigade, Michael.
Probably going to get all kinds of crap from my friends when they listen to all this, but that's all right. It's good fun.
That's okay. So once again, give everybody all the website, social media, contact info for Armament Systems and Procedures, ASP.
Yep. So our website is asp-usa.com, and our Facebook and Instagram are at ASPUSA without the dash. Just think of it as ASPUSA, ASPUSA for Facebook and Insta. And then we've got a YouTube channel you can get to from our website, or from YouTube. You just search ASP. I think it's ASPUSA 1 maybe for YouTube. We got a lot of videos. Video content is a big push for us right now. We've got probably 30 new videos on how to use stuff, how to choose stuff, how to buy products, how to service them and tweak them and stuff like that.
Sure.
So that's a big push. And like I said, we have a great distribution network. So I don't want anybody to think that our website is the only place to go. We've got distributors all over the world. So you can go to the dealer area of our website, and there's a interactive map. So you can see if there's a shop near you that has stuff that you can put your hands on.
Very cool. Make sure you guys go and show them some love. And don't forget about the giveaway that we're going to be doing with ASP. Get your social media pictures. Go out, let your local law enforcement men and women know how much you appreciate them. Do a selfie, do a video, and then if you are law enforcement, you are LE, if you do a picture of yourself with an ASP product, then you will be eligible to win one of our main prizes. And then if we pick you, you will also win a little bonus, a little something extra that Michael's going to throw in there just for you. So, Michael, again, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show and acclimate our listeners to your company and your products.
I appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this ever since we met at Range Day at SHOT. And I think it would only be appropriate, if I could, and since we are recording this during National Police Week, I think it would only be appropriate to acknowledge that, National Police Week is really entirely dedicated to officers who have given their lives in service to their communities, and a lot of activities going on around that. But the most important thing is that we recognize and appreciate them. There's people who did not go home to their families on a given night at work, and we should all be appreciative and aware of that sacrifice. So, not to end on a low note or a somber note.
No, that's a message that can't be said enough and stressed enough, which is another reason why we're doing, the giveaway that we're doing, because we want you to get out there and let these men and women know how much that they are appreciated and that their service to our communities and our nation is needed. So thank you again. Thank you again for doing that.
We wouldn't want to be in a nation without them, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not. And don't forget to use that discount code for all their lights and lights accessories on ASP-USA. It's LED20, and you're going to get 20% off any of those products there that are light, flashlight, or light related. Just want to clarify that. And make sure you go show all the sponsors of Talking Lead love. Ride-On Optics, the official optics of Talking Lead. RideOnUSA.com. It's RITON optics.com or USA.com. Either one of those will work. Kel-Tec Weapons. Check them out at KelTecWeapons.com. You'll look at their new KS7 12-gauge bullpup shotgun. It's the next evolution to their KSG. They've gone to a single tube versus the double tube. Made it lighter, more maneuverable. It's a really cool shotgun, shoots great. And their 22 long pistol that they have now, competition pistol, the CP33, which will hold 33 rounds of 22 long. KelTecWeapons.com. Modern Spartan Systems, for all your lubricating and gun cleaning needs. Modern Spartan Systems got you guys covered. ModernSpartanSystems.com. And then, of course, the best, most affordable AR-500 steel targets on the market today are X Steel Targets.
X Steel Targets.
So show Bud some love over at X Steel Targets. 1776 United. Get all your Talking Lead swag, T-shirts, patches at 1776united.com. And they're going to be having a Memorial Day sale as you guys are listening to this. I'm sure it's kicked off and ready to go. So make sure you go check out their awesome Memorial Day sale. And we're going to be giving away 4 $25 gift cards to 1776 United during our 300th episode celebration. Stay tuned for those. And you can get your official Lefty. The Lefty is better than a Yeti. Keeps your drinks minutes colder or hotter is the Talking Lefty. Don't be a snowflake. Get your Lefty at dip123.com/Talking Lefty. And then make sure you guys go, friends of the show, Palmetto State Armory. I've got some more videos coming from their AKP, which is their AK pistol, AK-47 pistol that they've got. Started testing that out the other day. It's been running great so far. other accessories they've got there. They've sent me some things to update some of my old tired AR-15s with some new furniture and sights. Our friends over at Mission First Tactical, they've done the same thing. My 300 Blackout, lightened it up, made it look a lot better. Love their minimalist buttstock. Make sure you guys go check them out as well. And the Buck Knives, the official sponsors for this year, Talking Lead at the 2019 SHOT Show. Buck Knives, we'll be doing some things with them coming up. And Michael's got his buck knife there too. Very cool. As always, lead heads, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer. And your flashlight really close so you can find all that other stuff.
And keep it charged and ready to go.
Roger that.
300, 300, 300, 300.
300 episodes of Madness.